Well, I would play the freaking music if this thing would cooperate. What the hell? we're starting off with a bang tonight, folks. Okay, maybe this will work. Here we go. There we go. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the official, unofficial CWF Mid-Atlantic Worldwide After Show. We are covering episode 113, titled Absolute Justice. I am Joe White, and joining me, he's back this week. He's back out of retirement. He's re-debuting. He's back.
It's my big debut, White.
He's back from his 1-week suspension. Mr. Hollywood, Jeff Edwards. What's up, Jeff?
Not much, White. Here to talk about it.
So before we get into this week's episode,
yeah,
couple things. Did you listen to last week's after show?
I did.
What did you think about Grant filling in?
I love Grant filling in. Grant is better than me at this show, to be
not.
quite honest,
No,
and we are in good hands if I don't have to do the show. Put it that way.
Grant, nowhere near better than you. I missed you. I missed you, pal.
Missed you too, White.
Goddamn, pal. Anyway.
God damn it.
God damn it, he's taking a week off. I've never taken a week off. Nah.
God damn, they're in love or something.
Anyway. We'd like to thank Grant for filling in for us again last week.
Yes, thank you, Grant.
We'd like to thank all those who tuned into the pre-show that happened about 7. We had Johnny P on the pre-show. So I know you didn't get a chance to listen to that because you never get on the internet before 10 o'clock at night anyway. Except
did a pre-show with Johnny P tonight?
Yeah, man. You didn't know about this?
No, where am I today? Where am I all week? I don't know. I'll catch up.
Kayfabe. Anyway.
Kayfabe.
I'm going to go ahead and tweet out the live link real quick while my computer is functioning properly. I was trying to take notes during this match, and I use a program called Apache Open Office. It's like their version of Microsoft Office, only it's free. Mm-hmm. And their Open Reader program, like their word processing program, totally almost crashed my PC during that episode. So I ended up just copying it all into Notepad and going from there here. But what did you think here, before we get into this week, what did you think about last week's Modern Vintage Wrestling episode with Trevor Lee and Michael Elgin headlining? You had the Dawsons versus Tommy Dreamer and Nick Richards on that show. What did you think about that one?
I thought it was great. I thought you and Grant covered basically everything that I think I would have said. From Elgin, Grant kind of brought up what we were talking about with Elgin. And they put on a tremendous match. And even from the beginning of the show, the smile on Nick Richards' face when he came out with Dreamer, priceless. That was a very good show. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I honestly think that match with Elgin, it took place before Absolute Justice, and I didn't get to see it live.
Mm-hmm.
So if I would have seen it live, it would have varied my opinion. But up until actually watching Richards and Lee on YouTube tonight, last week in the back of my mind, I'm going, Elgin and Lee might be better than this. But the way the commentary was tonight, the way the presentation was, the editing of everything, I got to say, man, I don't know which match of those two I like more. I mean, it's two completely different styles. I really don't think you can compare the two. But anyway.
Well, I know what you're saying, White. Since my time on Planet CWF, I've seen Chip Day, Trevor Lee, obviously. Mm-hmm. Alex, help me out.
Alex Daniels.
Daniels, thank you. Elgin, Nick. It seems like it's getting better and better and better and better. It's really hard to explain. Like that, those four guys right there, those four names, you would think that one would obviously be better than the other. But these Trevor title matches are just on another level. All of them,
And you're right. They keep getting better and better and better, and Lee is forced to wrestle different styles every single week.
Yes.
And I liked the way they were going tonight until the end. I'll just say this. We'll save it here for when we get into that match. We are live tonight on 1650 PWAM. That's 1650 PWAM Pro Wrestling and more. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at 1650PWAM. You can follow Jeff Edwards on Twitter at Blading for Truth, and me, I'm at Joe Pillar to Post. Use the hashtag CWF AFTERSHOW if you want to go ahead and join in on the conversation, or you can go straight to YouTube and at the link we provide you on the Twitter and join in the fun there on the chat room there. We want to know what everybody thought about Absolute Justice this evening. We are a little bit early tonight. We said we were going to go on 11:30, but I got work tomorrow. Jeff has other commitments tomorrow, so we got to get this done as quickly as possible. But we're not just going to breeze through everything. We just won't be up till 3 o'clock in the morning here.
Before we get into the show, Joe,
go ahead.
And I'm sure you guys talked about it on the pre-show that I didn't know was going on, but that's okay. That's my fault.
Sorry.
The Johnny P video.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my good God. I hope you guys talked about that.
We did.
Okay, good.
I put him over for it.
You should. And I'm going to put him over, too. Johnny P. I think we should change it to Johnny F and P.
Johnny F and P. Because
that thing was tremendous. And for somebody like me that doesn't know the whole history of Nick Richards.
You do now?
I do now, and it made the Absolute Justice match even that much more. Johnny took the cheat sheet. He gave me the cheat sheet tonight. So it helped watching this match. It was, oh my God, tremendous job on that video.
I'll be honest with you. There was stuff there with Nick that watching that I didn't even know, with him being I knew he was a part of Fatback and everything like that with Grant Stutz and Wrestling God, and now Nick is dead.
Yes.
Oh man, live it looked that way. Live it was freaking incredible, man. I mean, we'll get to the live versus YouTube stuff here in a minute. Are you going to man the 1650 Twitter account, or do you want me to for tonight?
Go for it, Joe.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and check back into mine real quick and do some retweets here. But we started off this incredible show. I want to say they did have a dark match before the show, and Grant said it was posted along with the William L. Cross interview beforehand. I didn't see it on their YouTube page.
I didn't see it either.
So anyway, what happened? I know that I can't remember the damn pre-show match, to tell you the truth. But I know it involved Timmy Danger and Movie Mike, I believe it did.
Oh, damn.
So it was pretty good. I just don't remember who exactly that they faced. So I just want to go ahead and preface by, they had William L. Cross come out. And for those who don't know who William L. Cross is, he's a former manager, and kind of breaking kayfabe here, he's pretty much the owner of
I think we mentioned that before.
Of the whole thing. Right. So they, he comes out and says he's looking to get back into managing. They went up with a ton of other stuff in the bulk release last week, so they blended in, Grant says. So, yeah, they're there. We just got to hunt for them. I will say that William Cross coming out, he's basically saying he's going to get back into it again, but he's going to his main thing now is people who he manages have to do it themselves. They can't, he's not going to take the shortcuts for them. He's willing to manage them, but they got to be willing to put in the work too. I want to say Corey Wadsworth goes 8-man tag. So crazy and awesome. We'll get there. Feel free to chat with each other in the chat room here. If we lose ourselves in this, if we lose the chat room in this, it's because we're trying to, give our thoughts on matches and stuff. But and we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. But we opened up with Kane Justice, the Rising Generation League champion, versus handsome Mitch Connor. And the first thing I noticed from a live perspective, before this show even took place, is walking in there, we got new aprons. We got shiny new ring posts.
Yep.
It looks so much better now.
Does the ring look bigger to you?
It does look bigger to me. I don't know. I don't think it's bigger. But
no, I think it might just be an optical illusion from all the new. But I looked at it and thought, wow, it just looked really good. It looked big.
So we had handsome Mitch versus Kane, and they roll around a little bit. And the thing I remember is that, and I noticed this is a new trend for Kane. He comes in without his pads on, And then he gets in there, rolls around, and he's like, wait a minute. And he goes to the outside, reaches under the ring, and there happen to be his red knee pads that he has to put, or shin pads that he has to put on now before the match, before he can really get going. I like the fact here that they mentioned that there's more footage out there of Connor to study, for Kane to study, than there is of Kane. Johnny Peeve, I mentioned on the pre-show, they mentioned this on commentary. Kane probably hasn't even had 50 matches yet in his career, which is astonishing to me.
That's a great point.
And Cecil during the match is like, Cecil's putting himself over. He's learning from me. He's learning from the match with me, you know? And I thought it was a good match. Mitch kind of run it with a roll-up for the win. And Mitch had on this night, he caught him, had Kane Justice's number. The match went about 6 minutes and 47 seconds. Jeff, what were your thoughts on this match?
I thought it was good. I thought it was short and sweet. But my big problem, White. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, it's a non-title match, so we usually know what happens in non-title matches.
Right.
But would it have hurt them to actually put Kane over Mitch? Because now, to me, it kind of looks like, as Mitch is going up to the top there, going back to the curtain, he said he's got some learning to do.
I didn't like it either.
Kind of derails Kane's story for me a little bit, like he's not ready.
It does. It so does take him back a peg here. And I get that, you know, with the legend killer gimmick, every once in a while the legend has to get one up on the heel. I get it. Okay? Mm-hmm. I so get it because they, you know, but I don't like the whole legend killer damn thing to begin with that they're doing. And maybe it's not a legend killer, quote unquote legend killer. It's him rising up and doing this, but it's like, I said it, he needs to drop the title first. You know, they need to have him put over a younger guy, lose that belt, and then move up. I know that's the way it traditionally works, and I know people are going to be like, "That's WWE booking, stupid Mark." But
yeah, but they actually have rules in CWF that you kind of have to, you know, move up out of that spot. So
yeah, I mean, there's a weight class thing and an experience class thing there. You know, he has less than a year in the business, and you know. Hasn't even lost the Rising Generation League title yet, and but he's already wanting to move up. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe that's the story that they're trying to tell. I mean, maybe I just answered my own question, but.
Oh, maybe you did.
But it just, I don't know. I didn't like this. I didn't like Mitch getting to win. I wanted Kane to win. I think it devalues Kane here a little bit. Compared to him being on a roll. I mean, have him get... The reason why the quote-unquote legend killer thing works so well is that Randy Orton beat up every freaking legend he could until, you know... I mean, I forget, but until, you know, you got to crush a few of them before they could come back and get the win, you know? before they could be redeemed by somebody. I like the match here between him and Mitch. This is not the first time you've seen Mitch, but it's not like, you know, you haven't seen Mitch a whole lot before. What did you think of Mitch's work here?
Thought it was good. They have similar, I don't know, how do you want to say? I put over, when Kane was on the show, I was telling him about Dominic, the match with Dominic. Mm-hmm. Kind of seems like handsome Mitch Connor is, you know, the older guy version of those two guys. So it kind of worked for me, you know, the styles, but like I said, short and sweet, but I'm just a little perplexed at where they're going with Kane after this.
Yeah, I mean, and the last thing I want, I mean, I feel like, and even Johnny P said this on the pre-show, it's all about what Kane Justice is going to do at Battlecade this year. Battlecade is really going to, especially after Battlecade was so hot for him, it's weird how he's in the opening match here and the crowd was dead for this match. And then he was opening match at Battlecade last year, just 6 months ago, facing the Dirty Daddy for the RGL title, and he was totally over in that match. That crowd was red hot. And it's all about, you know, looking back or when we get to December and we look at Kane's position at Battlecade.
Yes.
I think they may have something special for him. But how they get there is so important to me. Because I don't want to see him stuck in limbo until 2 or 3 months before Battlecade.
Right.
You got to keep this kid hot. You got to keep
Mm-hmm.
him over. You can't let him have any type of lull at all, or else it's not going to mean as much when they get there with him.
I agree.
Even if it's just a match where he finally loses that RGL title to an up-and-comer or whatever, you know? Keep him a heel, but you got to keep him hot. And this right here, this loss right here is kind of a lull for him. Hopefully in the Weaver Cup, he turns things around and has some good matches there and continues on with his character. But I'm going to find out just as good as you are because I'm sitting out the Weaver Cup. So I'm kind of anxious. They're there this Saturday at the Sportatorium for Opportunity Knocks. And you don't know how bad it kills me that I'm not going to be there.
You should do it. You should go.
I can't, man. I can't. Honestly, there's a family of 5 here, man. And I just ain't got the money.
I hear you.
Plus, I just can't miss the time from work again. Then we have any other thoughts on Kane versus Mitch before we move on?
Nope.
We have Jacob Hammermeyer
Yes.
versus Chet Sterling. Comes out, cuts a good promo. I have here that we're seeing, I didn't know the history that Hammermeyer had in CWF because I really haven't gone back and watched the older stuff, with the aftermath and all that. I know about it. I kind of knew it was there, but I don't know exact storylines. So apparently I'm sitting there going, okay, Chet's fighting a lot of outside guys for this Ultra J titles lately. It's pronounced Jacob Hammermeyer or
Yes.
Jakob. I put that it was a good promo from Hammermeyer here. Claims that Chet has taken his identity. What were your thoughts? He busts out, it's 2017, and identity theft is no joke. And
I thought it was good. I mean, you mentioned, not to bring up Johnny P again, but you guys agreed maybe 2 weeks ago, the look of Chet Sterling.
Yep.
With the glasses and all. And here is the exact reasoning for it. Apparently, according to Mr. Hammermeyer, it's identity theft, White.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a serious, serious crime. But I will say this. I, of course, did not know the story because I'm new to the product. I do have to go back and watch this shit, by the way.
Yeah.
I've had enough. I have to put some time aside and just do
if it was up to Stutzy, the old shit wouldn't be up there.
Really?
Yeah, Stutzy doesn't like he's even said it on Twitter. If it was up to him, everything like pre-20, I think he said pre-2010 wouldn't be up there. Or pre-2015 or whatever it was wouldn't be up there. He doesn't like the old stuff being up there.
Oh, wow. All right.
I mean, but the thing is, I just don't have time to go back and watch this, man.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. But I'll say this. I think the announcers did a good job. I think Hammermeyer's promo did a job in explaining what was actually taking place, what we were seeing. Mm-hmm. So,
and I thought that here I am going, okay, it's another outsider coming in like LaRoe was fighting for this. And then the commentators, again, CWF does not, even though you can't go back and watch the old stuff, they remind you of it. Everything matters. I've said it 10 times.
Yeah.
If I go to that sportatorium and I sit in the third row and cut a fart, 10 years later, they're going to remind you how bad it smelt. That's how much everything matters. And they said that Hammermeyer has a history. He's a former lackey from the Aftermath. And BDK, whatever BDK was, I don't think it's Beatdown Clan. He's the head trainer at the Crystal Coast for Carino's school out there. That commentary matters. They mentioned that Chet even has trained with Austin Aries before coming to CWF. I never knew that. And that the referee was a referee from OVW. Never would have known that if they wouldn't have mentioned it.
Yep.
Your thoughts on this match here?
Thought it was really good. I thought it was kind of like a mirror image of each other with the two guys. I thought it was pretty cool. Boy, oh boy, it's kind of like, I guess it's a casualty of doing it, the indie show, because if this was actually played out on TV that, normal fans are used to, you would have gotten a whole build for this,
Yeah.
with the mirror image and all. But I thought it was a really good match. But again, I'm a Chet Sterling fan and you're not, so you might not agree. Go ahead, White.
Apparently, Orky Wadsworth says it stands for Bruderchef dos Cruces. I can't even pronounce it. It's Shikaro's uber
Oh boy.
dominant heel stable, and not Austin Aries, but Aries from Shikara. Well, me and
Oh,
you
that Aries. Okay.
me and you have stated both that we're not too big of fans of Shikara.
Mm.
I'll watch it every now and then but it's not my cup of tea, you know.
I know who they mean though.
But
You would know Aries if you saw him.
okay.
If you don't, yeah.
And again, that's why we keep it to CWF. If it's outside of CWF, we're not really going to know about it when it comes to this show, unless they mention Austin Aries, which we did get a cameo from a WWF superstar later. We'll get to that. I put here they told a good story. It was a hell of a blockbuster by Chet. Chet continues to impress me. Here it is, 2.5 years is how long it's taken for me to warm up to this guy.
Wow. I think it's my great influence on you. Like
maybe. And then we get a mention that Chet has to fight LaRoe again in a ladder match at their sister promotion, which is a PWI affiliate, which is Nova, all the way up in Northern Virginia, 6 hours away from me. And then they show a promo that was brought to you by the Better Than You gated community. And this is why I say I love this character and I want to see more of him in CWF. Yes. I'll be honest with you. If it's not on Worldwide, it doesn't fucking matter. So unless they're going to air this match on Worldwide, because again, this show encompasses CWF. Unless it's going to be shown on that YouTube channel like the Modern Vintage stuff was last week, it's not, it's not canon.
Right. Canon.
It's not canon. So, I mean, I guess it is, because if he goes out there and loses, we better see something from CWF going, oh my God, Chet Sterling has just lost the Ultra J Championship, or the PWI Twitter. I mean, because this is for a PWI title. It's not just CWF, so I get that aspect of it. But then again, you were also mentioning, it would always, it's I akin it to the old NWA days. Would all the NWA affiliates announce on their TV that they had a new NWA champion back in the day? Because that's before my time, really.
Yeah, they kind of made a big deal out of it when it happened.
I mean,
it was all over the mags and all.
The magazines, yeah, but I mean, if you're a fan who wasn't reading the After mags and you're just watching the TV, would they come on the air and go, David Von Erich just won, or, Kerry Von Erich just won it from Ric Flair? If I'm sitting in NWA Cincinnati, am I going to get a cut in on my TV telling me about that? I would imagine CWF would do something like that.
I'm sure CWF would. Of course, White, there's, they had taping issues back then sometimes too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to say maybe Gentleman Chris Adams in WCCW. Like, I want to say maybe he just showed up with a belt one day and then they explained like, oh yeah, he won this, wherever. Just for an example,
Maybe I'm thinking too much into it.
You might be,
maybe, but it's
in the wonderful world of social media and Twitter, I'm sure PWI, if a title change would happen, it would be out there.
Oh yeah. So we get a promo here. We see Nova Pro footage from Easton LaRue, and he says that again, he's the gentrification of pro wrestling. But it's Mr. Perfect-esque. He's drinking the wine. He's playing pool. It gets over his character. I know that you weren't a fan of it 2 weeks ago, or a few weeks ago when we saw him. Now that they've aired this, I don't know if they're planning on bringing this guy back to CWF. This promo kind of confused me. It kind of felt out of place for a CWF show. Unless we're going to see him in the future, then I'll look back on it and go, oh, okay. But what do you think of this character now after seeing this this vignette, as it were?
Well, I like the character, of course, White. I like the gated community. I like that he's playing pool, kind of a mishmash of a couple guys that we've seen from the 80s. We'll see, though, White. I mean, there's something about the guy. I don't believe him yet.
So Logan is in the
It's all set up. It's all set up for him now. He just has to hit the home run. You know what I'm saying?
And Grant reminded us Logan's in the Weaver Cup, but the promo wasn't about the Weaver Cup unless he's facing Chet Sterling in the semifinals or quarterfinals or whatever the case may be of the Weaver Cup. Or unless they're going to bring a title match to CWF. Because the purpose,
Or maybe by having him on 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I keep saying 2 weeks ago. By having him on, now he's wrestling for Nova. He's wrestling Chet Sterling in Nova. So you will, when you see it on Twitter, if something would happen, you would go, It's Logan Easton LaRoe.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's enough right there.
So we
because we were exposed to him.
I like the promo. We're exposed to him. Anytime we see him on CWF TV, it's good. I like him being on there. But, again, just like them promoting the Scenic City, if we're going to get Scenic City footage on CWF, then it means something.
Right.
Just like they put over Modern Vintage. Modern Vintage Wrestling was shown on CWF Worldwide. It's on their YouTube channel. To me, if it does not hit this YouTube channel, we can't really talk about it on this show.
We're going to have to make a canon effect. I'm going to have to load it up and, cannon alert.
Cannon alert, the cannon alarm,
Yes. We'll see, though. We'll see.
Ethan Alexander Sharp or Old Sharpie, as I call him. I got to call him Sharpie. Mr. Sharpie and Otto Schwanz, they are risking only Otto's in-ring career.
I love that, by the way.
Sharpie's such a dick.
Sharpie's not that dumb.
He's not dumb. And that's what I love about that character. As goofy as he comes off, he always finds a way to outsmart the audience, and it's beautiful.
Sis on my face.
Yeah, sis on my face shirt. Hashtag, and on the back it was thickness in any direction.
In my direction.
Or thickness in my direction, I think it was, yeah.
Yep.
So they're clearly, he's wanting to continue that, and it continued in this match. But they took on him and Sis, risking their individual masks, versus the Sandwich Squad, Aaron Biggs and Mecha Mercenary, risking no more tag team title shots for 1 full year. And that includes, and I like how they put here, even if they split up, they can't go find new partners. Those two individuals cannot challenge for those titles, no matter who they team up with, for a year. I like that aspect of it. Versus the Dawson brothers, risking their titles in a fatal 4-way, everything to lose match. Otto jumping the Dawsons at the bell. You had the heels going up against the heels at the bell, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just carnage. Poor CL Party. CL Party. Hashtag legs for days, man. Whew. Gotta say it. Gotta put it over. Anyway.
She got legs. She got legs.
And CL's trying to tag on through this. And Otto attacks the Dawson, and Grant's like, we're going to try it again. We're going to try the intro again. And Mecha is like, Otto, he points at Otto and goes, "Did you see that, Grant? The guy's a goddamn psychopath."
I know I'm crazy, but this guy.
Yeah. So then, as all this is going on, I don't know if you noticed it, but Sis comes up behind CL and nuzzles her back with the mask.
Yes.
I'm like, what is she doing? Giving her love rubs or something?
Dude, I loved everything about this. It was complete chaos. Like, if you look at the 8 participants in this match, if you've never seen CWF before, you got to look at this and go, "What the fuck is this? This is amazing.
Out of the norm, but I love it."
Yeah.
And they go, they make mention of the T-shirt. They said they might have to blur the T-shirt for Worldwide or put the Ron Bass red X over it.
Red X.
His commentary gets so good.
Yep.
And I will say that this probably is one of my favorite matches that they did on this show. If not I agree with the Wrestling God here in our chat room. It's probably the best match of the night after Lee and Richards. I will say this is so fun to watch in person too. What did you think of this one here?
I'm just looking at the rest of the card. Yeah, I think I agree with Wrestling God. I loved everything about this. Well, first off, the whole production meeting that was going on in the ring,
yeah,
with Grant and CL, It's kind of cool because it's almost like, obviously, she was asking him, are we going to do this again? And you can hear him say, yeah, or whatever, try it again, whatever. But it's almost like they're purposely letting it be the shoot of, but it comes off as a work, but it's not, but it's like a work shoot. Like, you know what I mean? It's pretty cool.
They're breaking the fourth wall without breaking the fourth wall.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes. And I loved it. It was great. But so they do it again. And like I said, I think actually one of the announcers said something like eight crazy weirdos or.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It was just perfectly said. But the thing about this match that I loved, the everything to lose concept is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really cool idea. I would like to see that. They said it's like an annual tradition.
They didn't do it last year, but I think they brung it back this year.
I think it's really cool because now you're invested in all the teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's such a great idea. But the story of this match, and there were two things. The Dawson spot. I know if we're watching another Fed and we're breaking down wrestling, if both members of the team were in, they would do something, either tag out or they would not do what the Dawsons did here. They used logic in this because the logical scenario of that would be to have one of the guys lay down and try and get the pin.
Grant says they did do it last year with the RGL title. I have to go back and rewatch last year's Absolute Justice, man, because it's not like I'm actually going back and watching these shits every day and can stay continuity with the, it escapes my mind, but I have to go back. He says they did it last year with the RGL title. Anyway, go ahead and continue, Jeff.
I love the spot with the Dawsons, the logic, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Dawsons protected their belts at all costs, even at the end. Dave Dawson could have got in and broke up the pinfall, but he didn't. Because he's using his brains. Yeah. That's what I love to see. I thought it was perfectly well done. It wasn't too long. It could have went on for another 15 minutes, and I'd have loved it.
I like to mention the Dawsons. I like the point where they both get tagged in.
That's the spot I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, you don't see that. I've never seen that in one of these types of matches where the partners, hey, it's a rule. The partners actually have to go against each other if they get tagged in.
I think I've actually seen it, but I never saw the spot done logically where the logic move would be to pin the guy.
Okay, I'll lay down for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful.
I thought you were talking about the spot at the end where Zayn could have broken up the pin.
Well, that was the second spot I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, you were probably reading Grant as I was talking about that.
Yeah,
the Dawson spot. But Joe, the big question out of this is, Sis and him lose.
Mm-hmm.
Sis snuck away, and I know from listening to the interview that Sis said she will never, ever, ever give up that mask. What is happening here?
A couple things about the match, though, before I get to that here, because I said Sis is doing so damn good, and she's just killing it each and every time I see her. She sells well. She knows how to dish it out just as good as she could sell it. I mean, for crying out loud, she's been doing it since she was 13. I'm going to put over the interview that we did with her a couple weeks back. Go ahead and listen to that. It's in the archives here on the 1650 YouTube page. And William, I put I put here that spot was just amazing. They lose, and William Cross comes out. And you're right. It befuddled me even there live. I'm sitting there going, Sis just walked off.
Right.
She didn't show any sympathy.
Was anybody in the crowd going, does she have to lose her mask now?
No, because they explain. That's another thing. You get so many of these matches in WWE, and especially TNA or Impact Wrestling or GFW, whatever they're calling themselves this second, where you have all these fucking rules. And you can't keep track of it. Mm-hmm. Again, the commentary, the ring announcing, they made sure you did not get confused. And the crowd knew that the crowd didn't get confused either.
Okay.
And I think that's another reason why they had Sis go off, was to sell the fact that,
to make it clear,
she doesn't lose her mask. Him does.
Right.
Michael McAllister does. And I like here how they, halfway through the match, they started referencing him as Michael McAllister. Michael McAllister, him slowly faded away in our minds as this match went on. But Mecha Mercenary again taking the mask off of him. And he even asked Grant, "Do you want me to do it?" Grant's like, "Yeah, go ahead." So it's fitting because these two are former tag team partners.
Yes.
And for him to be unmasked by Mecha continues on their path. I mean, it wasn't that many, months ago where McAllister was begging to be Mecha's tag team partner again, and Mecha refused, But I'm so curious. William Cross comes out and wants to manage him again, and he's like, "But I'm not going to do the work for you. I'm not going to run around here and cheat. You got to do it yourself," which is kind of like, if he's got to do it himself, what the fuck does he need you for?
Right.
If he could do it himself, he doesn't need you. If he could do it himself,
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me, I'm going to go a little bit off script here. Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller lost weight. Lost like 200 and some pounds. He used to be a big guy. Now he's real skinny. Said he was going to get a stomach sleeve, and the doctor told him that in order to qualify for that surgery, he had to lose, I think, 100 and some pounds. And he's like, "Well, if I can lose 100 pounds, why not go in all the way on my own, and I'll just lose the rest of it myself, and I won't need your help." Same concept here. You got to do the work yourself. You got to do this yourself. Well, if I can do it myself, what the hell do I need you for? That's how this came off to me.
That makes sense, but what happens now with the Sis storyline?
That's my question. He's like,
because him lost. How do you say that? Him lost, or does he become he if you're referring to him? And I'm not sure. Okay, him lost.
Him lost the match.
The mask.
Him lost the match. Damn. Anyway.
Damn. Ow. So is that storyline over? Is Sis just on her own? Is she just separated? That's what I'm curious about.
I'm taking it as she's on her own. We'll have to see. Maybe Sis will be in the Weaver Cup this year, dude.
Maybe she will.
I'm telling you right now, man. And we'll get into this. Well, I'll get into it in a minute. When we get to that. When we get to a certain match. But Sis walks off, and Mike and Cross brings up, him is dead. You don't need him. These people don't like him. You don't need him. And he smacks the fuck out of McAllister and goes to the back. And McAllister's the whole time sitting there under his breath. "I don't trust you. I don't trust you." And then all of a sudden, he goes to the back after slapping him, and he chases him. Cross, and he chases him. So it's clear that they're building towards, again, we're going to get a stable here, I think. Which there's not many stables in CWF right now. You got the All-Stars, and I think they're the only ones.
Yeah.
Maybe Moneyball if you count,
Yeah, they're kind of.
Dr. Daniels and Otto, which I put down here. Otto Schwanz is a beast, and his experience shows. He's been around this a long time.
Oh, yeah.
They put out that McAllister has been under the mask ever since he started teaming with Sis. That's not the case. It's kind of like they forgot the build up to the entire him storyline. Where is he? Can we find him? Where is him? Do you know where him is? And then all of a sudden, I'm glad that this happened. Because my feelings toward the whole thing with him being McAllister anyway.
Right.
I'm glad this happened. I like McAllister better without the damn mask. But as far as Sis goes, it's a wait-and-see thing, man. It's a totally wait-and-see thing. Because after that interview, I know your boy Russo says there's no such thing as a push in wrestling. But I want to see Sis get pushed. I know that's going to ruffle a lot of feathers, and a lot of people are going to cock their heads to the side and go, "What the hell's Joe smoking tonight?" I want to see Sis get treated a little bit more, a little bit higher up on the card. So,
I think if she was in the Weaver Cup and actually went I don't know.
Maybe she wins the Weaver Cup.
You never know. You never know. That'd be huge. That'd be different, man. That'd be something different.
Another thing, this match, after the whole beatdown, Zane Dawson tags in Otto and goes, for 1 second, can you just go over there and whip his ass?
Yeah, there were a couple spots in there too when Sis was in, and excuse me, and Ethan Alexander Sharp was begging to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
You're begging to cover her. I mean, this is what we were asking for, Joe.
Yeah. If
he slowly becomes more and more obsessed with her.
A couple things here. I put Biggs hit a loose Des press on Sis, and Cecil's like, "That's a murder! That's a murder!"
Yes.
And Biggs, I know Joe's the stupid mark, but I have to say it. Was it just me, or did Biggs look tired and blown up by the end of all this?
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree.
I know.
He's a big dude, though.
Get in the ring, Joe. You'll be blown up in 30 seconds. You're like
I know I would.
You're like Floyd Mayweather. You can't even read, Joe White.
Floyd.
Fucking Floyd.
Floyd White. Floyd Whiteweather.
Floyd Whiteweather. Where's the easy work? I got news for you. That whole thing's a work. If there was ever a work in professional sports, that's it. Anyway, I like the fact that Zayn doesn't make the save to win the titles.
Yes,
great. Or to make the save, because he's like, I don't have anything to lose here. We keep our titles. You get the win. Mecca gets the win. And, anyway, Sis disappears. Mecca takes the mask off him, and him is gone. I put here. It was 12 minutes and 22 seconds in this match. And then I don't know how I feel about William Cross using Dragula by Rob Zombie. I haven't heard that song in years.
Yeah, that was odd.
I haven't heard that song in years, and it doesn't even... You look at him, and you're like, the last thing you think about when you see William L. Cross is Rob Zombie. But anyway.
I don't know. I thought maybe there was something in his past that I never saw.
Yeah,
that would make sense, but I don't know.
But anything else about that match before we move on?
Nope. Great match.
We have Eric Andrews coming out next.
Yes.
A bit of a clean shaven. He doesn't have the full beard anymore. He had a beard, but it's more 5 o'clock shadow. He looked different here.
Yes.
Eric Andrews, and they put over the fact that he's been champion for over a year. And little girl at ringside, Abby was her name. And he draws... They put over the fact that everybody in that bucket has never been TV champ before. And they draw out the first Rick Converse. And, well, first off, what'd you think about this? Because when I first heard this live, I'm sitting there going, oh, my God. It's kind of a mixed match here. Rick Converse has always kind of been the main event,
Yeah. Well, first I thought that Andrew's promo was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Short, but pretty good. And when I heard Rick Converse, I thought, oh, God, he's going to win. Oh, God.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It even did more to legitimize. I know I'm skipping ahead here, but it legitimized him because he beat him. However, not really, because he won like he always does, which is they're protecting that thing that they already have set up. He cannot be beaten because of that, because of the distraction of CW Anderson. So I thought it worked out well, but I fell for it. I'll say that. As soon as I heard his name, I thought, oh shit, he's gonna beat him.
Oh,
new
shit.
TV champ. Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Shit. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Eric Andrews jumps Rick Converse. Rick Converse is not even out of his duster yet. He's not even out of his duster jacket. And they reference Rick losing to CW Anderson at Battlecade, so this feud is still continuing, and I love it. Their match at Battlecade was not that good. Mm-hmm. The second time they went around was good. I want to see them go at it again in a rubber match. And I put here specifically for you, Jeff, did you notice there was not as many hair flips in this match from Eric Andrews?
There were not as many. There were a few, but not as many.
Not as many. Mm-hmm. And I put here Andrews is getting way better at this. And I put that him and Converse actually work well together. I like this match. They were, telling a good story, like you said. They built it up as, oh my God, is Converse, is the badass Rick Converse going to be the one to finally put Eric Andrews in his place?
Mm-hmm.
And Converse is going for the Richter scale, and C.W. Anderson appears, distracts him. Andrews rolls him up for the win. And what did you think about the match overall here? We'll get to the aftermath here in a second, but the match itself, what'd you think?
I thought it was a good match. I think they pair off well. I think, but like I said, I think the booking of it especially was perfect. I fell for Rick Converse. The distraction happened. Andrews is the same guy Andrews is. Converse is obviously protected because of the distraction, so it was perfectly booked.
I put here, you can definitely tell now C.W. Anderson building a presence in that building, because all you have to hear is the champ is here, and it's like, oh God, here he comes. Here's old bad news himself. And I like C.W. Anderson. I've always been a fan of C.W. Anderson, even going back to his ECW days, which I think his work here in CWF is 10 times better. Ever since he's done the Rottweiler gimmick and he's doing the shotgun super kick and all that. And the champ is here. I loved it. Robbie Walsh is holding Rick back, going, hey, you just had a match. Again, Robbie Walsh, best damn referee in the business right now. You just had a match. You'll get your shot. Just go to the back and calm down. And then the part that people are going to hate me for.
Wait, before you get into the part that you hate, people are going to hate you for, and I know exactly what you're going to say, but when Converse's name was drawn, Andrews looked at Robbie Walsh, and he said something to the effect of, he was never a TV champ? Really?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, am I correct? Did Robbie Walsh say to him, I don't know, maybe he was a cruiserweight champ or something?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, because I just started laughing. I thought, there's no way he said that.
He did. He said,
now I'm hearing shit.
I think maybe he was a cruiserweight champ, but he was... Your new Ultra J champion, the first Rick Converse.
Right. I
Like,
just thought that was a good spot.
The guy is damn near, well over. How tall is he?
That was a good spot.
Robbie Walsh again. I don't know, man. Stat Mark is sitting right there. He could have told you. Robbie was right. He was cruiserweight champion. Oh God.
Well, I laughed for no reason.
I got to find that match.
Yeah. Jeez.
In 2002, he was CWF Cruiserweight Champion.
Wow.
Is that up on the YouTube site? We got to see that. I definitely want to see that big son of a gun as a cruiserweight. And then the part people are going to hate me for.
Go ahead. Have your minute.
Old Voldemort himself comes out. Which, with the bald head and that face, the way he sticks his tongue out and wiggles it, he looks like a snake. He looks like Voldemort. Old white meat himself. We talked about this on the pre-show. And I'm glad you didn't listen because we spoiled it. I asked Grant for a match listing. And this wasn't in this match, like with CW, wasn't in the match listing because it gave away spoilers. And then Johnny P references it. And I'm like, Johnny.
Oh, okay.
So, kind of glad you didn't know the pre-show here, you would have been spoiled here. But Smith Garrett comes out to hold Rick back, and CW tells him, hey, get your girlfriend to hold your back. And Smith tells CW to leave, and CW then challenges Smith. And tells Stutz is there with the mic. He's like, y'all really going to do this for the title? And Stutz tells Brad Stutz to get his $5 butt back over to the commentary table before he makes change.
That was great. That's
awesome.
A great line.
And Rick Converse gives Smith Garrett permission. There was a little bit of confusion here, and then they straightened it up at the commentary during the match. And there was a little bit of confusion there live, too, whether or not this was for that PWI title or whether it was for a shot at the PWI title. It ended up being for a shot at the PWI title. Yes. And I put here, Smith wiggling his tongue looks like Voldemort from Harry Potter.
How is the audio in there? Like when you're there live? Because on YouTube you can hear everything.
You can pretty much hear everything. If they're shouting like that, you can hear everything.
Okay, gotcha.
When they're on a mic, you can hear everything because the speakers, they have speakers. Some of the speakers are actually underneath the ring, pointing out. So you can hear everything.
But I noticed a lot of C.W. Anderson. It was like off mic.
Yeah, you can hear everything.
Okay, cool. Just a technical question.
If the crowd is quiet, you can hear everything.
Right.
A wrestling guy, but Smith is different, a different taste for some. That's for sure, because he's just too, put a top hat on him in white boots. He's too white meat babyface for me. And like John Filipavich pointed out in the pre-show, you get these group of guys, and he wants to do a column called the Sons of Gibsonville, pretty much, and one of those guys is Smith Garrett. He's one of the cornerstones of that promotion. I just don't, if somebody was to come up to me and go, who is, I imagine if Vince Russo, you know how Russo does this, you've seen that reality show. Mm-hmm. If Vince Russo were to come in there and go, Smith, tell me about your character. Who is Smith Garrett?
Yeah.
I don't even think Smith Garrett can answer that question right now.
See, I thought maybe it's because I only saw him once or twice, but I don't really know. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, if I were to ask you who's Smith Garrett, what's his character? You can't answer it.
He's a good Southern boy.
He's a good old
That's the
boy.
only thing I can say.
Grant
and I don't know if I'm right, to be honest.
Some people are a fan of the white meat babyface, especially in the South, but there doesn't seem to be much middle ground.
Well, there you go.
I mean, speaking of Russo, Wilkins and Lockhart.
Speaking of Russo, that was a good segue.
You know where I'm going, really. You know where I'm going with this. And I even thought it live. And I wish that cell phone got reception in that building, because I wanted to be like, dude, they just pulled a Russo here. Russo's fingerprints are on this. They may have called him and asked him what to do here. But I liked it. I liked this. Wilkins came out with Jerry Carey, and their partner is Darius Lockhart. And up until now, Darius has been a heel, so I'm sitting here thinking this fits.
Mm-hmm.
And they're taking on Showtime, Dirty Daddy, and Snooty Fox. And CL Party, again, introduces the match. It's always a party when CL's on your screen. Grant, we'll get there. Grant goes, Russo never did anything as awesome as Super Chicken.
I can't say I disagree.
Judy Bagwell.
Super Chicken's pretty cool.
Judy Bagwell on a pole, maybe, or Oklahoma?
On a forklift, bro.
On a forklift,
bro.
Forklift, bro. Anyway. So they announced that Coach is away. He has to have a 1-game suspension. And I'm like, Jerry Carey does an announcement for Coach anyway, and they pan over to the corner, and Coach is not there.
Fantastic.
I think that it could have been better if they would have had, like, Coach's jersey that they could have hung up in the corner.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Yeah. And then they put out that the Dirty Daddy fought Billy Robinson in 1975.
Loved it.
I love it. I love that character. The fact that he's with Snooty Fox dampens it down.
I don't know about that.
I don't like it. Stupid Mark, I know. So they're going at it, and it's a good tag team match here. The story is Lockhart's not really liking the cheating. Lockhart's kind of turning babyface as the match goes on, which part of me is intrigued by Lockhart as a babyface, because Lockhart's been booed in that building every time he's been in there. They mentioned that Lockhart has spent some time over and trained over in England, or over in the UK, which I did not know. And now looking at Lockhart and some of his work, you do kind of see that UK influence there. But somebody put Dirty Daddy also got a title shot against Jim Breaks in 1980. And then Super Chicken comes out. And you can see me taking pictures of Super Chicken. I have pictures up on my Twitter I put the San Diego Chicken. I was not aware that this was Super Chicken. This is a step above the San Diego Chicken.
Oh, of course.
Super Chicken could go to any promotion, not just WWE. And I put here, Wilkins' mind is elsewhere. He's taking photos with the chicken.
Loved it.
The question is, everybody in that building, they swerved everybody. It was over. Everybody thought Coach was in that damn chicken suit.
So did I.
And I even got the wrestling chicken chant started that you may have heard. I got that started. I loved it.
Good job. Good job, White.
Stupid Mark wrestling chicken chant. Doesn't like super kick, but he'll chant for the fucking chicken. Anyway.
Doesn't like this is awesome, but he'll chant for a chicken.
Doesn't like the young too sweet me, but he likes the fucking chicken. Anyway.
Hates the CWF chant, the initial chant,
Yeah.
but he likes super chicken.
Motherfucker don't like the Bullet Club, but the goddamn super chicken's over. The goddamn super chicken ain't out there going, too sweet me, every 5 minutes, although that would have been fucking awesome, I think. And then I put out, Wilkins is more aggressive than Lockhart here in this match. The commentators make a reference to that. I put here Lockhart's slowly turning babyface. He says that's not what I signed up for. And I like how they called the Dirty Daddy hits the sling blade, and they were like, he calls it a Kaiser blade, putting over that character.
Yep.
And I put here, why does Snooty Fox always got to be the hot tag?
Because he's over. Sorry, White.
Why can't they do it the other way around with Snooty starting the match? And
I think he pops the crowd because he's the big guy.
I mean, it was kind of like back in the day with the Dudley Boys. If you notice the Dudley Boys matches, Devon always took the brunt of the fucking beating and brunt of the match, and then Bubba got the hot tag. Mm-hmm. And after a few matches, you're kind of getting sick of it. I liked how the chicken was selling moves on the outside.
Some of that, Joe, too, is maybe they're protecting Snooty.
Yeah.
A little bit. You know what I'm saying?
He needs it. Anyway.
Needs it. Listen to you. Take a bump.
Take a bump, White. Snooty Fox will kick your ass. Snooty Fox will get in the chicken suit and kick your ass, White.
Tell that to Snooty, bro.
Tell it to his face, bro.
I'd like to see you say it, bro.
I think Snooty's just got a long way to go. He's a big man. He's got potential.
He's loaded with potential.
I think he's better suited as a heel, actually, my opinion.
White, let me pose a question.
What's up?
Darius Lockhart.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have him throw the match and screw the All-Stars if they're going to turn him face anyway?
Because it's a slow turn. I mean, when he came out of the All-Stars, everybody was like, oh, okay, this fits because he's a heel. And I think the crowd kind of did not expect Lockhart to turn. I didn't expect it. I think it's perfect the way they booked this.
The chicken spot, though, I thought, Wilkins was out there taking selfies or whatever the hell.
With the chicken.
And at that point, I thought, okay, this isn't going to go down as planned because Lockhart's going to get pissed.
Mm-hmm.
But it just happened after the match. I'm just wondering, would it have been better if it was during?
So they're wrestling over, and the ref is distracted by something on the outside, and Coach Gemini, in a Donald Trump wig, in a Donald Trump baseball jersey, comes in, hits, they said it was Buddy Landell.
Buddy Landell, yeah. If it was him, I guess, if they said it was him, it must have been him.
Mm-hmm. Buddy Landell came back to CWF, And again, it improves that damn character because I could totally see them having to cut a promo with Dirty Daddy blaming Buddy Landell for the loss.
Uh-huh.
So we got swerved. The chicken swerved us. And the coach's suspension is over because the All-Stars have won the match. And Coach wants Lockhart to be the new Chappie that can actually wrestle. Now, are you familiar with who Chappie is?
No.
Chappie was a scrawny little black dude in the All-Stars who basically was their fall guy. He couldn't, their fact was he was like the outcast, of the All-Stars. He was there, but he was usually the one taking the bumps. If things were going to happen, he was usually the cause of it. He was like their lackey, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put Chappie as a skip damn moron. He is. Coach wants Lockhart to be the new Chappie, and of course the crowd knows who Chappie is, and they're like, "Oh, you're too good for that." And he goes, "No, a Chappie that can wrestle."
Yeah, I heard him saying that. Chappie that can wrestle, though.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I enjoy the coach so much.
He's great.
Lockhart refuses and gets clocked by Wilkins, and Showtime makes the save, And I put, is Lockhart now officially a babyface? What are your thoughts on all of this collectively? The match, the finish, the swerve. It just had Vince Russo's thumbprint all over it to me.
Well, Joe, I like stuff like this. My first question, though, is Eric Royal. Was that legit? Like he actually had an emergency?
I think so.
Okay. If that was legit, what a great, entertaining fill-in.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's booking this stuff down there, White Studs.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. He does a really good job.
I mean,
because I was damn entertained.
You're talking about stuff, I mean, Grant says, yeah, it was legit. If you remember, Smith Garrett was, and that's another problem I have with going back to the match that followed this and the promo that followed, or came before it, and I said it. Yes, I know shit happens. We went over this on the pre-show, that yes, shit happens, and that X-Cyrus is not a full-time wrestler, and he wasn't able to make it there that day, but it was a really shitty build to a match that didn't even happen. I mean, come on. And Smith is going to show up there, so Smith is like, they had to find something for Smith to do. And I, you know, I just don't agree with him being thrust up into the main event like this. Because to me, that PWI title, you know, it's like the NWA title. It means something. And I just I didn't think Smith was ready to go for that yet. You know? Here he is in a good like months. For months, him and Nick Cyrus have been going at it. And it's like, that was just dropped, you know? I know sometimes shit happens and they have to just drop feuds like that, but I was maybe looking forward to them finally ending the feud. I mean, they can always go back to it, I guess. But you see what I'm saying here, Edwards? It's just like it's like, okay, your match isn't here. Your opponent isn't here. We got to find something for you to do. So instead of you having like a regular match with somebody else, we're just going to thrust you into the PWI title picture, you know? Am I making any sense? I'm going to look at
it. If you look at it in the long term, though, it's another chapter. Like, if he and Converse are friends, it kind of prolongs Anderson and Converse without them actually having to wrestle.
True.
You know what I mean? So you're going to get that eventually.
Hopefully they extend this out to the Rumble or Battlecade.
Don't you think that's going to be a Battlecade match? Anderson and Converse.
I get what Grant's saying here in the chat room. You know, got to make the best out of a bad situation. Not every scenario is going to be ideal. I get it, but again, the point of this after show is we give our opinions on it from a fan's point of view, quote unquote fan's point of view. You know, but all I know is, and I know that I can't use this exception, this comparison, but so much with CWF. If TNA or WWE pulled something like this, it'd be like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, but
then again, it's not TNA, it's not WWE, it's an indie promotion. So
right, it's apples and oranges.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't really compare.
You're right, it is apples and oranges, but
you know, McMahon has the luxury of, because he's paying everyone to know exactly who's going to be there.
You know, sometimes.
So. Well, sometimes, yeah, depending.
We had a Brad Attitude promo. No, actually, no,
yes.
we had CW Anderson versus.
Well, yeah, Smith Garrett.
I'm getting ahead of myself here. Actually, before even Smith Garrett and CW, we had Weaver Cup news. The Rapscallion.
Oh, yeah.
They made mention of WCPW here, which I thought was like weird. I thought
that was weird, yeah.
I was like, oh man, this doesn't belong on my damn CWF. Because you guys,
I was wondering if you'd have a problem with this.
Oh, I did. But this to me is a video package that is not produced by CWF. This to me was a package that the Rapscallion already had put out there, and they were like, oh, this will be perfect for the Weaver Cup. The hashtag, you're going to notice us and everything. So, and absolutely, real life jobs come first when it comes to X-Cyrus, you know? Hell, that's why I'm not going to wrestling this weekend. My real life job comes first.
Exactly.
We got Weaver Cup news, and that the Rapscallion is on his way and mentions...
Why, I think you should apologize to X-Cyrus. publicly right now.
I'm
Do it.
sorry to Osiris. I didn't mean that. Hey, that's not a knock on Osiris. It's a knock on the way that they use Smith. Cyrus has nothing to do with it.
All right, let me ask you this. Let's armchair book, because that's what we do.
Oh God.
What are you going to do with Smith Garrett? Where do you put him?
He's Kane Justice's next opponent.
No, I mean on this show.
On this show?
Well, if it's up to you, you probably won't even have him on this show.
Promo in the back?
Promo in the back.
Hey, Cyrus, you couldn't bother to show up here today. You're running from me yet again. I guess we'll have to wait down the line to finish. Too bad for me. I'm going to take it out on you. I'm going to take it out on you tenfold now, because not only did you show up and you were a pussy, you didn't show up here, but you cost me a payday, Cyrus, and I'm going to take that payday out of your ass when we meet next time down the road, when you do bother to show up. That's all you need.
Okay.
Anyway.
What'd you think of the match?
Oh, we got the. What did you think of the rapscallion in the promo there?
I forgot.
I thought it was a damn good promo. I thought it was whoever edited this, man. I thought it
was really good. Had a cool look to it. Had a, it's what they do. Like it had what culture written all over it. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was definitely a what culture promo. Talking about how they shoved him in a rest of the world category.
Yes.
I will say this. And you may not agree with me, but I looked at this guy and I looked at this promo and him freaking out, and I was like, very Marty Scurll.
No, dude, that's exactly the kind of vibe that I got from it.
Mm-hmm. Him with the cane and the mask and everything like that. I was like, this is very Marty Scurllish.
I guarantee you, if AC never saw that, or saw that guy, if you showed that to him, he'd be like,
oh, look at this guy ripping off Marty.
Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me, bro?
Are you kidding me, bro?
He wants to be fucking Marty. Or something like that.
They ain't letting him in the Bullet Club. I can't do AC like you.
It's tough. He's got a tough voice.
Oh, AC's creaming his pants over these press conferences the last 2 days. He's lying in bed somewhere with a damn roll of paper towels in his YouTube, watching this shit.
You got to give it to him though. This is his baby, man, right here.
This is like the second coming for him.
Yes, and the third coming, and the fourth coming, and the fifth coming.
Every press conference is another coming. We love you, AC. CW Anderson versus Smith Garrett.
Yeah. Got
to put the match over. Good chemistry.
Good match, yes.
Good match. Chemistry. It was a damn good match. So, in the end, we're like, whether or not I like the angle or not, because it's an angle, the match was good. And that's all that really kind of matters at the end of the day, I guess. Put Smith look good here. Damn, and good chemistry. I put here CW Anderson. I know I'm saying this about a veteran like CW Anderson, but he gets better and better every time I'm seeing him in a CWF ring. They told a good story. I put here Smith's tongue. When he does that damn thing with his tongue, he just looks like Voldemort. With the bald head, the way...
I think you've mentioned that, but go ahead.
He just looks like Voldemort. I wrote it down multiple times. I don't know why. Converse comes out and kind of does a little payback, but it doesn't always work, and it doesn't work in his favor because C.W. Anderson ends up hitting, he goes for Smith, hits Smith Mountain, he kicks out at 2. He spit in the face of Smith, and Smith's like, don't you ever spit in my face, and they're working over who's going to hit the finish, and then C.W. finally hits the shotgun kick, and C.W. Anderson, after the bell, attacks him after the bell and goes for the arm after the bell, and Converse makes the save. Now, I will say this. If they are going to do this and put Smith interjecting in this storyline between C.W. Anderson and Converse, they either got to do one or two things.
Okay.
I say you start a feud here. You could start the feud with Kane Justice the Weaver Cup's coming. But have CW...
You're booking Kane in the PWI Championship. It's great.
No. I'm booking the Legend Killer gimmick here that they keep going with.
Ah,
because Smith is a more experienced guy. Book CW teaming up with Kane Justice. So you have the Rising Generation League champion teaming up with the veteran PWI champion. But he's a heel veteran, so it makes sense. Versus Smith and Rick. Book that as a tag match. You have them feud, everything, and then it leads up into the, a singles match with Kane and Smith. Who you put over in that, though, is where the roadblock comes in, Because if you beat Smith, again, it totally deflates Smith. If you beat Kane again, it deflates the hell out of Kane in this angle that they're doing with him. Hell, it's all me and you agree it's kind of deflated Kane tonight from what we saw.
Yep.
But unless they're going to go next month, they're going to shrug it all off, and Smith is going to go back with Osiris next time.
That's what I think exactly is going to happen.
And then again, you have the summer, the Weaver Cup's coming, so storylines are always in disarray with the Weaver Cup because everybody is focused on that. So storylines, but then again in a tournament, you can still do your storylines in a tournament at the same time. It can be done. WWE did it for years with the King of the Ring, folks.
True that.
But I liked the Smith Garrett CW Anderson match. He told a damn good story. I got to put Smith over here, man. I liked it.
I thought it was good. I don't know. I don't see that much of a problem with Smith Garrett. I mean,
I know I'm in a corner by myself on this one. I know I am, but
I know exactly what you're saying. But I think whoever said in the chat room, he's a Southern white meat babyface. I mean, I think that's what he is.
In this day and age, though, in 2017, what is a Southern white meat babyface?
It's a guy from the South that acts like a good boy.
Oh, jeez.
Basically.
Anyway. Brad Attitude.
Why? I'm stretching here. Go ahead. Just go.
We gotta go. Brad Attitude promo is next. He's sitting. We knew he's out.
Who was that guy?
Who was that guy sitting there with him? He's Brad Attitude is You better be kayfabing me because I know you know who that was.
No, sure.
So Brad is sitting by a pool. He says he's across the country. He's in paradise. So he's in Vegas, sitting by a pool. He's wearing a Nick Nemeth t-shirt. That's OVW for you folks.
That's old school.
Brad says he's not here. He won't be back at CWF till they can prove that he won't be screwed over. He goes, have your 2-star match and cheers, assholes. And he's there enjoying some Motorhead whiskey. And he says, by the way... Poolside. And they pan the camera over. Now, in the arena, they were very quick to cut it off when Ziggler's face was shown. But on here, you could tell that's Dolph Ziggler.
You mean Nemeth?
Or Nick Nemeth, yeah. I wonder if the dirt sheets tomorrow. We should put that out there. We should do a little CWF promotion where we can put it out to the dirt sheets. Nick Nemeth appears on CW on Indie Show.
No, this is what you do right now. Okay?
Dolph Ziggler appears on Indie Show.
You just tweet this at Vince McMahon.
I'll
put Dolph's Twitter handle in it and say, awesome to see you on CWF Mid-Atlantic. And also tag Triple H in it as well. Do that.
I'll do it right now.
Do it. Hey, the WWE's loss would be my gain if Dolph regularly wrestled.
I'm gonna tweet. Last time he spoke in the Attitude promo, I missed that one. But I'm gonna tag Vince and H, and I'm gonna be like, nice of you guys to let tag Ziggler make an appearance on the Indies. Hashtag CWF WorldWide.
Let's see if we can get Nick Nemeth fired tomorrow.
God damn it, pal! First page now, you. At least put on a goddamn mask, pal.
Oh God, pal.
You just did Vince as Stutzy. What the fuck?
Yeah, Vince starts walking around quoting Stutz. It'd be great.
Oh shit! Doing that fucking walk.
Yep. Oh God.
Oh God. Oh shit.
Oh shit, Paul, get in here. We had a meeting.
If my Twitter will cooperate, I'll do it. Come on. Let me close out Firefox and reopen it. Maybe that's the thing. But
hey, who wouldn't want to see Ziggler and Trevor at the Sportatorium? I know I'd like to see it.
See, now you're really stretching it.
I mean, I'm just saying it could be like the greatest match, the greatest match ever.
It would be. It would be. They did put out a real thing. Speaking of Darius Lockhart, Chip Day put out that maybe he would like to wrestle Darius in a match, and I immediately put out in big ass capital letters, "This needs to happen in a CWF ring." # book it, Stutzy. Chip Day versus Darius Lockhart. Forget about it, man.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah.
At Vince McMahon. Here we go.
Come on, White. You gotta get quicker.
Well, I had to reload. Add Triple H.
Triple H. Put Dolph in there.
Nice of you to let.
You have enough room to put Attitude in there as well?
Up here with.
We're making news, White. That's what we're trying to do.
We're ruffling feathers is what we're fucking doing. To let heel Ziggler appear with Brad Attitude on hashtag
up here
on at CWF Mid-Atlantic. Where's my cursor? Worldwide. Hashtag 5 stars. Or no, hashtag mark out moment. There we go.
Like it.
Hashtag CWF WorldWide. All right. But Vince and H, nice of you to let at heel Ziggler appear with Brad Attitude on at CWF Mid-Atlantic Worldwide. Hashtag mark out moment. Hashtag CWF Worldwide. It's up there. Cheers, assholes.
Cheers, assholes. Did you put that in there?
No, I didn't. I should have. I
I'll
didn't
hit
have
that
enough
up.
room. The 140 character thing.
What account did you throw that from?
I put it on mine.
Okay.
Do you want me to put it on the 1650 account?
Yeah, retweet it from there. I'll put cheers, assholes in yours.
Okay. Oh, man. Wrestling God put good luck, Dolph, with your future endeavors. From the second I saw that in the arena, I'm sitting there going, oh, God. Is Mitchell from the Torch going to put Dolph Ziggler appears on... And then I'm like, no, he's friends with the promotion. He'd never do that. We will.
On it.
We're not in like Flint like Mitchell is. But anyway, moving on.
Anyway, yeah, where were we? A little distraction there.
Yeah. We move on from that beautiful promo to Richards versus Trevor Lee. Nick Richards versus Trevor Lee. I'll let you take this one first, Jeff, while I'm retweeting this.
Boy. The opening of the match. Jesus Christ. White, I was texting you marking out. Did you notice that I was marking out in the text?
Here's the text.
Yeah, maybe read the text.
LOL. That was after the Super Chicken. Then about 5 minutes later, holy fuck. Cutter. Jesus Christ. And I was like, told you it started hot. And at that time, I was still on CW and Smith Garrett. And he goes, if my screen will turn around here. He says, I cut her again. I have fucking goosebumps. I went back and watched it 3 times. Stupid Mark. Anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. The cutters were amazing, White.
Yeah, dude, live, I came up out of my fucking seat. Are you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm fine. I came unglued, White, as I'm sitting there. Because I did not expect Trevor to turn around with that belt on and take a cutter.
Neither did I.
Did I expect him to get pinned? No. But he jumped right up. And it was the second cutter that I went, oh, my God.
In the fucking commentary, there was a lot of oh gods in this one.
Oh yeah.
I put here comment. It's always nice when the commentary team just marks the hell out, which is what they should do when something like this happens.
Mm-hmm.
Continue with your thoughts on this one.
Sorry, I'm distracted there a little bit.
Twitter.
Yeah. I still didn't get there. My phone just died, but I'm on PC right now. This match, White.
Mm-hmm.
Let me refocus. Told a tremendous story, especially from the Nick Richards side. And from the Trevor Lee side, it's still another chink in the armor. The armor is slowly coming off Trevor Lee with that title. These people are coming in the ring, and they're just taking a little piece off that armor. I can't get enough of this, dude.
I mean,
this title reign is just amazing.
As you watched last week, or the week, I think it was either the week before, he's like, I don't know how much more of this I have in me. And I think it was after the match with Elgin.
Yeah.
He looked at Robbie Walsh. I don't know how much more of this I have in me. And even at the promo afterwards, I don't know how much more of this I can do. Any other thoughts on this one before I go on my tirade here?
No, go on your tirade, and then I'll jump back in.
The crowd is in. They told a damn good story here with the commentary, but then it was like all for nothing at the end of it. I felt like they could have went and took Trevor to a whole new level. And they were like, Trevor is still acting like a dick. He's even at the start of the match, he's like, go to the other corner. That's the challenger corner over there. This is my corner when they do the introductions. And Trevor is pissed. He doesn't even have, once the cutter's been hit, he doesn't even have time to take the title off. And once he does take the title off, he goes for a damn penalty kick and he gets hit again with the cutter. And the commentary team is marking out, oh God. And, you know, they're talking about how, is it arrogance or is it confidence of Trevor Lee? And the cannonball on the outside into a chair, it's like he just did that into one of the VIP chairs. And Nick is just so good at selling all this, man. So good at selling all this.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, so they ran a poll. This is a legit deal here. They did run a poll of, hey, who do you think's going to win? And it was open until about maybe 1 o'clock that afternoon. And 75% of the people thought Trevor was going to win. And they were like, Nick has to go to this deep, dark place now. He has to rely on hardcore to get the job done. Which, with the promo that in that video package that Johnny P did, talking about how I don't want to go back there. These fans don't want to, you know, the fans have seen that version of Nick Richards, and they didn't like it. This is the same Nick Richards that was threatening to burn down the Sportatorium for crying out loud. And then, you know, he joined in with the Riot, with that faction, which, what a fucking faction that was, man.
Who was the third member there?
Lee Valiant.
Lee Valiant, okay.
It's fucking amazing. I missed Lee Valiant.
Definitely got to go back and watch some of that.
Dude. It was so good. That was about the time I started watching, is when they were coming through the back entrance and interfering in matches and just laying people to waste. It was so good. That's the Nick Richards I like. This babyface Richards, not so much. But
where do you put this match? You and Grant were talking about the Elgin match, and Grant said he thinks it might be a top 3, and then you said kind of you'd have to look at it. But then there's this match. Where do you put this?
It's apples and oranges to me, because I can't compare this to anything else that Trevor Lee has done.
I know. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Like, every freaking match, you said, with the different styles, it's like they're all so good, but in their different way.
I mean, you know, him and Trevor, or him and Andrew Everett, and him and Chip had that kind of cruiserweight-esque style.
Yes.
I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Elgin had that's a very strong style. If people want to know what strong style is, go back and watch that. You know, go back and watch the last year of Trevor Lee's career. He can do it all.
White. The chair bump.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
I was expecting him to cut her off the top rope, but it ended up being the superplex.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 75% of people picked Trevor here. Trevor no selling the trash can lids. Brad Stutz even put on there, I never heard a more guttural roar or guttural grunt from Trevor.
Mm.
And I like how they were like, is Lee thinking about wrestling elsewhere? Is his mind here in the Sportatorium, or is it out west at PWG, or is it in Chicago, or is it in... Again, they made this commentary for the entire match, made Trevor Lee into a heel, man. You know, we had people like Sophia Moon last week in the chat room going, Trevor Lee is our champion. And my comment was, yeah, but for how long is he going to be your champion? How long is it, in a storyline-wise, before they make a mention of he's going away from you? He's abandoning CWF. He'd rather because they pay him more money. It's more notoriety. He'd rather go out there and wrestle for PWG than show up here. You know, even when he was doing TNA, Brad Attitude made a damn comment. You're down there kissing Dixie Carter's ass while I'm here. But the contrast of that to what was whenever Trevor Lee was at the Sportatorium, Brad Attitude was nowhere to be found. So I get that, but...
Hey, I don't want to get derailed here, but really quickly, just because you rang a bell in my head from today. Stames, I was talking to Stames today, and he was listening to Conan's podcast. And they were talking a lot about TNA restructuring contracts. Mm-hmm. And apparently, according to Conan, they are shit deals. Like, they're getting taken on merch, 0% deals on merch.
What?
Shit like this. Yeah. Yeah. And
not getting paid for your fucking merch? That's illegal, isn't it? I mean, well, then again, they do own the IP.
You know, I guess that's the way they're going. My question, though, is would a guy like Trevor Lee have a different type of contract?
I think so.
Or are we going to have to see him make a decision here really soon?
I think you're right on both of those aspects of it.
Oh, boy.
For now, yeah, Trevor has a different contract. He's able to go do BOLA. He's able to go do CWF.
Okay, because specifically Conan was talking about these new younger guys that are coming in, he was saying. They don't know any better. He's going, it's fine for them, but for a guy like me that could actually sell merch like right now because my name's Conan, that's not good. I can't sign a deal like that.
I'll say this. Anybody who signs a deal to where they're not getting at least 10% of their merch money?
Yeah, really?
Don't sign it.
Okay, but I don't want this to derail the show.
No, well, it's topical.
Okay.
Because I've been stressing it for months, and even it got brung up on the pre-show with Richards and with Kane. They got to start making these other guys because it's only a matter of time before Trevor Lee rides off into the sunset and becomes that full-time TNA guy. I've been saying it for the last year. It's just a matter of time before they offer him a deal, make him an offer he can't really refuse. The sad part is the offer that they can't refuse is the same offer that gets him booked like shit.
This is true.
Look at what happened to Austin Aries. I know Austin Aries, they say, oh, he's hard to work with. He complained too much about the way he was being treated, but rightfully freaking so. Look how he was treated.
Yeah, but dude, I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big Austin Aries guy, but I'll say this. He was out there publicly waving the flag going, you have to give the cruiserweights time. It's a new show. We're trying to get it over. He was saying all the right things. So whatever private conversations he was having, I don't know what they told him that he wasn't worthy of being there anymore. He just said, no, I'm out. I got to get out of here.
I thought he made a damn good commentator.
I thought he did all the right things. He did everything that was asked of him. But anyway, hey, who knows? Maybe we'll see him in the Sportatorium.
But the thing is, that's what they were getting over in this match, getting back to the match.
Yes.
You know, is he thinking about wrestling elsewhere, pushing the fact that other places may be more important than CWF? That's the story they were telling. They were turning Trevor Lee heel on commentary more so than they have, you know, leading up to this.
I'll say this. Maybe they were just saying he's distracted because, you know, I mean, come on. He's Trev, right?
He
But
doesn't take Nick Richards seriously. He's not
to your
ready.
point,
Yeah, but
that was the follow-up. Yep. And as a matter of fact, Trevor actually knelt down to Nick in the beginning of the match, and he said, "You're not effing ready for this yet."
Yeah.
So that's heel verbiage.
And then the commentary furthers the heel turn by saying Trevor's getting pissed at the fans cheering Nick Richards here in the Sportatorium.
Yes, his people.
His people. Trevor
What a tremendous match, though.
You know, it was a damn good match. And to me, this was the time to turn Trevor Lee. You're talking about making younger guys, and Johnny P is right. They got to start now. Because with the way people are getting gobbled up from the indies, it's only a matter of time before Trevor Lee is either done with TNA or signed completely with TNA, or he's scooped up by a Ring of Honor or a New Japan. Well, people in New Japan are allowed to work other places, but... Or a Ring of Honor, somewhere like that, man. And I even said it on Twitter the other day. Trevor Lee needs to be in New Japan.
I agree with that, to be honest.
And the problem is if he's in New Japan, he's not going to come to CWF every other taping or like he does now, you know, or every taping. So
I said it before. I can see him and a guy like Kushida tearing the house down.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be disgusting. It'd be insane.
I'll even go as far as to say, you know, you're getting this divided Bullet Club up. Have Trevor Lee go in there and you know, be a member of the Bullet Club.
But again, you know, we don't know the specifics of the TNA either, the GFW either. So who knows? Maybe if he would say no to GFW, NXT would come calling. You never know. But again, to your points,
honestly, I said the second that Trevor Lee signed with GFW or TNA or whatever it's being called today, the second he signed with them, I was like, that's the wrong place for him, because they're going to book him like crap, and they're going to pigeonhole him in that X division.
Which is ridiculous, by the way, because I did want to bring this up to you. After seeing Elgin in a CWF ring, I always thought he was a little bigger than what he is.
He's lost weight.
Well, maybe that's it.
Elgin, or are you talking about Elgin or Lee?
I'm talking about Elgin.
Yeah, Elgin's lost weight.
But size-wise, Trevor is
taller.
Taller, I guess.
He's taller. Yeah.
So why is he stuck in an X division, which I don't even know if that's size. I don't even know. Just what a waste of a talent.
Well, I guarantee you, if he was over in TNA the second he got brung up, or WWE the second he got brung up to the main roster, goddamn pal, he's a cruiserweight. Oh God.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt.
He's too goddamn small.
I see you got me Austin Aries replacement, pal.
Yeah, I mean that's just the way Vince thinks. It's not the way I think of Trevor Lee. That's how Vince thinks.
Right. But White, getting back to the point you and John are making, would you have rather seen him put Nick over here?
Not necessarily put him over, but I would have rather seen a Trevor Lee heel turn stick out of this.
So post-match, you would have rather see him beat the shit out of Nick?
Yeah, and they even said it during the match. Oh my God, Lee's pissed. He's finally done it. Lee's pissed. Lee is, you know, he's pissed at the fans cheering Nick, and now he's just out for blood. He's finally going to put Nick Richards away. That's it. He's had enough. He's pissed. This commentary team, without a doubt, to me, treated Trevor Lee like a heel. You can't say that they didn't. They kept putting over the fact that, oh my Lord, here he is, waving the fans on, saying, oh, go ahead, keep cheering for Nick. Keep cheering for Nick. You know? Mm-hmm. And I've been saying it on the build to this. Haven't I been saying it ever since we started this after show? And ever since this shit began? Trevor Lee has been a heel.
Yes, but it's hard to see if it's just because of Nick. Just for the program.
But the thing is, though, they built it up to where it wasn't just about the program anymore with him. His mind's elsewhere. He doesn't care about it. His mind isn't on CWF right now. It's on... He's got the Battle of Los Angeles coming up.
Well, it depends what they do after this now, too.
Well, that's what I'm getting into here. You had a spear through the table. You had a cutter into the choke by Trevor Lee. had a middle finger and a fuck you by
That was good.
Richards
Yeah.
into a penalty kick. The cactus elbow on the outside, which I put here. Richards needs to stop doing that. He's going to break a hip landing on that concrete.
Well, ask Cactus about that.
Yeah, I mean, the man just had to have hip replacement surgery.
Yes.
I know it's your idol, and I know that's your style, Nick. Once in a while is okay. Every match, oof.
The bump card, White.
Yep, the bump card. Matt Hardy's bump card.
Yep.
The spear into the table, which was great because we don't see a whole lot of tables in CWF.
Mm-hmm.
And he traps Trevor's head into a chair. This part, me, was like, after Trevor kicked out of this, I knew that Trevor was going over because he traps his damn head in the chair, in the folding part of the chair, and then gives him a cutter. And that was the 4th cutter in the match.
I hate those chair spots, by the way.
I do. I always think somebody's going to have a broken larynx by doing that.
Yeah, I don't need those, ever. They drive me nuts, and I know that's the point of it. They make me feel uncomfortable. But that, like, oof. God, I hate that.
Trevor Lee, they said Trevor Lee was busted open, but I didn't see that.
Same here. I was going to ask you about that. I didn't see it either.
And Lee superplexing Nick on the chairs. The crowd didn't start an ECW chant. It was a CWF chant, which was awesome, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a bunch of, oh, God,
yes.
studs. And then they shake hands after all that. And I'm just like, oh, you were telling such a good story. The commentary team was telling such a good story. Even shaking hands during the match, I thought, okay. The heel turn isn't quite dissolved yet. They could still go places with this.
See, that's the way I was thinking. He was just working the program as more or less the heel.
Palm strikes, knee to the head. They pointed out that it is a curtain sellout, as they call it in the business. The other wrestlers are out of the locker room and are watching this match.
Mm-hmm.
And Trev taps him with a weird inverted STF. The crowd's throwing babies in the air, as Jim Cornette would say. Trevor tells him, hey, you got a knot on your face. And Lee cuts a promo saying, if I'd known you were that good, I wouldn't have been an asshole to you, which deflates the entire fucking story that the commentary team is trying to tell here. Nick puts over Trevor, puts over the crowd. The crowd puts over Nick. Stutzy invites everybody to come up and bang on the ring apron, and everybody obliges.
Yes.
Nick says he doesn't know where he's going to go from here, but he would love a rematch. Nick came out of this going, and I think I came out of this going, what's next for Nick Richards? Probably be in the Weaver Cup or something like that. See if he can go for it 2 times in a row. He won't, but it could be okay, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just came out of this, even watching it live, I came out of it going, you were doing such a fucking good job as a heel. It was a very slow, methodical turn that we don't see in the business today. Mm. You know, somebody turns heel, they come out there with their partner like they do an Enzo and Cass. Oh, you could tell the turn is coming.
Could you ever see Trevor Lee getting full on booed in that building though?
Yes.
You could see it?
Yes, he's been a heel before.
But now though?
Now? Yes. Comes out there and goes, I'm booked here because I don't want to get a reputation, but just so you guys know, I could have gotten a payday in Chicago. Have him be that guy. I'm well traveled. What am I doing back in this dump again?
Guess I gotta be here till somebody can beat me.
I'm contractually obligated. I just gotta come here to do the cakewalk.
White, here's the second part of the question that I asked you earlier. If not Nick Richards, who is the guy?
That's just it, man. Right now,
I
don't know. Don't fucking say Smith Garrett either.
Can I say Snooty Fox, or would that
Oh
give me
God,
the
dude.
same? No.
Good
Okay.
night, everybody. No. There are a couple things coming out of this that I could totally see them going, and I do have a couple ideas.
Okay.
Again, again, we were talking about them doing a fan fest before Battlecade or the Rumble, and I mentioned, hey, why not have a panel with the after show, or why not have a panel with Stutz? Q&A with Stutz, and he's Johnny P was quick to remind me, don't try to get inside with the promotion because they're going to make you look like an idiot. And I was like, that's not where we're going. So when I throw out these ideas, that's not where I'm going here. I'm talking as a fan.
Were you trying to coattail on Johnny P?
That's what it came off as, probably. No, I wasn't.
Why?
I'm thinking, since we do have people that listen to us, and since it is fans' life goal to be on the after show. Somebody put that on Twitter. Did you see that?
I did see that, and I loved it.
That was awesome.
Get them on.
I was like, it's not just my after show. They said it was my after show. It's not just my after show.
It's our after
show. And they were like, life goal still doesn't change.
That's right. But in that person's defense, though, I mean, it's not like we have an account that says the official, unofficial after show, the CWF.
Dude, two accounts already is enough to manage, okay?
Let's make more accounts.
Let's make more accounts. No.
No, not doing it.
At 1650 PWAM. There you go.
Just go there. Yeah, but Joe, get them on. If people want to come on and talk about the show with us, I'm all for it. I'm all
for it. I'm thinking next year when I get the tax money back, I'm going to invest in a Skype number. Because you can turn off the ringer on Skype or fans wouldn't hear it.
Yes.
So I think I am going to go ahead and invest in a Skype number so that people could call in. It used to be, if I do a Skype number, nowadays everybody has free long distance, so that wouldn't matter,
I did have a number, but I shut it off. I wasn't using it enough. But
the plan that I have with Skype lets me call out the outside numbers,
mm-hmm.
but they can't call me unless they add me on Skype and we do a Skype to Skype call.
I think you can pay a little extra for that.
Yeah, you could pay for like a Skype number, I think is what I'm going to do. But if anybody wants to come on here, man, I got no problem putting people on here.
How many people are in the chat right now? Even if it's like 2.
It's
just
late.
say 2.
It's 3.
3?
We're late.
Yeah.
But we have 20 views, 20, 30, 40 views every week, so.
Well, ask the 3 people. Well, I'm assuming one is Grant. So ask them, would they call in if it was a call-in show? Yeah,
I mean, if it were, let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think live here in the chat room. We'd love to have people on if they are nice, if they don't make an ass of themselves, if they
we could
stay on topic,
I mean, we could do an hour of the show review and then just take calls, questions, whatever.
But I mean,
if people would want to do it.
I think getting back to this match, though, I just think they had a really good opportunity. The commentators were even more. The commentators made Trevor a heel, and then in one fell swoop, the commentary was like it never existed.
Well, that's because the story's over, White. We witnessed the end. So as much as you wanted Trevor to be a heel,
but it doesn't change the fact that Trevor Lee is now a dick. He thinks he's above everybody else because he goes off and wrestles at all these different places.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At a show, if you started a "you're a dick" chant at Trevor Lee, would the rest of the place catch on and do it?
I think so. After this match, I mean, the people out, dude, the Nick chants drowned out the Trevor chants.
Well, maybe the fans have to speak. Maybe you got to tell Trevor. Tell him, White.
What am I going to do? Walk up to a guy and go, you will make an excellent heel?
No, you start the chant. Turn him heel, White. If you don't want Trevor as your boy anymore, you turn him.
When and who will be your next CWF guest interview? That was the thing. Could people call in? See, I don't know about people calling in and asking guests questions, because you always get that one, what do you think about WWE? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not what they're on here for, Grant goes, it feels like in most face versus face matches, one of the face always leaned more towards being a heel for the program.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Brett specifically did it on multiple occasions, but it could have been babyface versus babyface here.
Do you remember when Cena Rock fought, and Cena was like, "Oh, you're right. All your shit on your hand." Oh, boo.
Cena still got booed though.
Yeah, well, that's Cena leaning heel in that program. That's what that was.
Because they knew that Cena was going to get booed over The Rock anyways.
Yeah,
That's
but I'm
totally
saying
different.
that's character-wise. That's what was going on there.
That's totally different. Like in this deal, you're not ready. So one would think that the fans are going to lean towards Trevor, as they have all along. Trevor's been their guy up until now.
You're not ready is leaning heel. Because a good guy would say, "Oh yeah, Nick's absolutely ready." Imagine Trevor playing the straight up good guy in the back with CL going, "Oh yeah, I think Nick's ready. I think Nick's got to bring it though." You know, saying all positive shit. Well, he didn't do that. He leaned heel in this program, and I'm fine with that.
I just think that from a fan's point of view.
Yes.
Here they are talking about how this guy travels all over the world. He's in Bola yet again this year. He's traveling all over the world. He's got all this other stuff to do. He's not thinking about you guys. I'm sitting there going, it doesn't matter who he faces next, whether it be Nick Richards, whether it be Smith Garrett, whether it be Ethan Alexander Sharp. He's just.
It sounds to me like you want him to be a heel.
I do. I do. I think it's, before they reach the John Cena, I'm never turning heel plateau with him, they can still do it.
Well, if he needs to pass the torch, maybe you'll see that.
That's the thing. They put him as a heel, and then he does the honors for somebody, and then he disappears into the sunset and goes. And maybe he'll make an appearance every now and then if he's with TNA or wherever, but or Japan or Ring of Honor, whatever the case may be. But he needs to, it's time for Trevor to be that guy on the indie scene. It's time for him to be the indie darling. It's time for him to rise up and get noticed. And as long as he's only doing places like Bola or PWG and CWF, and I know he does a few other things as well, but until he gets out there and does shit for Evolve and everybody like that on a more regular basis.
And maybe he doesn't want to.
Maybe he doesn't. I can't speak for the man personally, but I just know that from a CWF standpoint, it's good. Like you and I said, it's going to come a time where these young guys are going to have to be the face of the company.
Right.
It's only a matter of time before somebody snatches him up, Trevor up exclusively. I just don't want it to be TNA or GWF. Right. Because they don't know I can't watch Trevor Lee on Impact. I can't. I just can't do it.
I haven't done it in a long time.
Right now, he's a heel. He stole the X Division title, and that's his thing. He's stolen the X Division title, and now he has to have a match to win it. But it's like, I hate the way they book him there.
We would make fun of you every chance we got about Trevor Lee.
Yeah.
And the simple fact was because we never saw him booked in CWF, but we saw him booked in TNA. Mm-hmm. We didn't get it. We didn't understand your affinity for Trevor Lee. But now that I see him on CWF, I love him just as much as you do. The guy's awesome.
He is. He's great. He's probably one of the. If you limit it to the U.S. right now, he's in my top 10 for sure. But,
I wouldn't argue that.
I'll tell you right now, though, based on what I saw out of him the past few months in CWF, playing this jerk heel character, it's like I've gotten a taste of his potential as on the other side of that fence, and I like it. I want more of it. I want to boo the guy now. With Cena and everybody like that, it's different.
Would you change your mind if they ran him up next program up against a straight up heel? Would you be like, okay, now I'm back. I still love you, Trevor. I'm back. I'm with you, pal. Like, let's say they run up Eric Royal against him or something. Just like a straight up heel.
Well, they've done that before.
Yeah, I know, but let's just use him as an example.
But based on, I mean, I have to see where they go from here with him, and it looks like he's back to being the John Cena. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go back to cheering him now. You know.
Okay. But are you okay with that? Have you had your fill of Trevor Lee White?
It goes back to the fact of they don't know how long he's going to be able to stick around there. They know his deal with TNA, and Grant's even said, you know, TNA lets him come and go as he pleases.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to come to an end soon. And maybe he stays babyface the entire time he's in CWF. I mean, who knows? I'm overthinking it probably. Stupid Mark, I know.
Well, I'll say this, White. I read an article about GF Dub the other day.
Oh, Lord.
And it was like a spotlight focus on these brand new 3 guys that they brought in. I never heard of them. One guy is from up this way. Looks like Yokozuna. Dresses like that because he's a big fan of Yokozuna. 3 brand new fresh faces. So my question is, if Jarrett is now finally bringing in new talent, searching for new talent, maybe Trevor won't get a big...
That's my fear, is that he's going to be, when they start cutting bait...
Right.
You're a Dixie Carter guy, or you were a Billy Corgan guy.
Right.
I mean, shit, there's a reason why Low Key's back.
Exactly. So maybe it won't even happen.
There's a reason why Shark Boy and Sanjay Dutt are back.
There's one way we're going to find out, White, for sure. And that's when and I said this before, when you get Trevor on the show here.
That was another thing. We ran a poll. Did you see the poll I ran?
No, you ran a poll? No.
I ran a poll. Who would you like to see? And I think I put Brad. I put Trevor. I put Eric Andrews. I forget the 4th name I put on the list because the poll was ran over a week ago, and I'm lucky if I can remember my own name some mornings.
Right.
Eric Andrews and Trevor Lee, or Eric Andrews and Brad Stutz, were tied as the winners of the poll.
What was the question?
Who would you like to see next on the after show?
Oh.
Okay.
Andrews and Stutz, really?
Yeah. Kane Justice chimes in with, 2 of them are never going to fucking do it anyway.
Ain't that the truth?
Somebody suggested Ethan Alexander Sharp. I think.
Kane's awesome.
He did. He goes, 2 of them are never going to fucking do it anyway. What's the point of this bullshit poll?
That's awesome.
I love Kane.
Well, let's do it. Go get Andrews on.
I'm going to try to get Andrews because somebody said when will be our next guest in an interview, and now that we're caught up, both of us are caught up.
Mm-hmm.
We can have guests on because we won't be spoiled.
Would it be inappropriate to ask Andrews about his hair?
No, because I will.
I'm on it.
Why do you flip your hair so much? Just fucking put it in a ponytail. Hey, he didn't flip the hair as much tonight. I don't know whether it was because he shaved the beard. Does the beard throw out the balance of the hair on the head?
Maybe the hair sticks in the beard, and who knows what's going on there in the Andrews makeup room. You know what I'm saying?
Andrews makeup room. Oh, man, I could go so many places with that, but I won't. Kayfabe. Anyway.
Kayfabe it, pal. Hey, speaking of pal, did Vince get back to us yet? Or
no, nobody got back to us yet.
Did Meltzer write the article about Ziggler's firing yet? Or?
No, nobody wrote that. Have someone film you asking Andrews to be on. All I got to do is reach out to the guy on Twitter. And
wait, they want a video of it?
I have it on good authority that he'll do the show anyway if I ask him. So it's not going to be that hard getting him on, I think. You know what I mean, Jeff.
Kayfabe it, pal.
Kayfabe it, pal. We're not
He'll
revealing
do the show, White. He'll come on.
He'll come on.
talk to us about this lengthy TV title reign.
1 year, baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Hey, I like the 1 year title reign. Honestly, the only person that I want to see take the title off of him at this point is going to shock some people here. We got to get Sharpie on here too, says Grant. We'll get Sharpie on one day. Because I do have...
That's a definite.
That's a definite. Yeah. We got to ask Sharpie. Here we are talking like, yeah, these people are going to come on our real fucking show.
Oh, they'll all come on. They'll line up. They'll be fighting each other to get on here.
I mean, if Grant will do it, come on.
That's true. Yeah.
But this is another point I wanted to bring up here. What did you think of the interview with Sis, by the way?
Oh, I thought it was really good.
A lot more open than I thought it was going to get, you know?
Yeah. The dogs were awesome, by the way.
She even told me before the interview, she's like, I got like 15 dogs running around, so I'm going to go outside, to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But here's my thought on who should take this, speaking of the TV
Well, I'll say this, White. Seeing Sis as the character on YouTube, you would think going into that interview it was going to be very hard. Like, but it wasn't. She made it easy.
I'll be honest, like we Stutzy or Johnny P made it aware on the pre-show that he was asking permission for things and he feels like he was bugging Grant. And I feel like I bugged Grant too because I asked him for a run sheet today of what was going to appear and what, you know, so and I bugged the hell out of Grant sometimes for this after show. Hey, how long of an episode is it, you know?
Right.
And Grant's kind enough to oblige and we appreciate him, but I thought with Sis, and I even asked Grant off air about this, I'm like, I didn't ruffle any feathers, or we didn't ruffle any feathers by having her on. And he said, no, of course not.
Cool.
You know, and
mm-hmm.
I thought we were going to ruffle feathers with that, because her character, and I even told Grant, her character's so protected there, man.
Right.
She doesn't sell merch. She's not out there in intermission shaking hands and kissing babies. Maybe she should start being out there. I'd buy a Sis t-shirt in a heartbeat. But anyway, as far as who should take this TV title off Andrews, I think it's Sis.
Ooh.
You want to start pushing that girl? And here's one that, you know, they draw her name out of the bucket at random and have her be the one that randomly beats this guy. And that'll kickstart a damn good feud between the two.
You know what I'd like to see?
What's that?
Snooty Fox get pulled and
stop.
hit like 3 moves of doom and pin him in 30 seconds.
Oh, jeez. That's probably going to happen.
I'd love it.
Hey, I've said it before. That's probably where they're going with this.
Do you remember when Ultimate Warrior beat Honky Tonk Man?
Oh, jeez. Don't even compare this to them.
Dude, no, listen. 2.5 years, what, Honky had that title, something like that. Something ridiculous. Warrior came out and beat him in 30 seconds. I could see Snooty doing it, and I would pop. That place would go nuts.
Place would pop even bigger if Sis did it. Same scenario. Comes out. German suplex. Bam. 1, 2, 3. Not even 3 moves of doom. 1 move of doom. That's it.
The Sis move of doom.
That's right. And people say I'm sexist. I'm wanting her to get put over with 1 fucking move, people.
Yeah, but you're saying that to cover over your sexism.
No way.
You know what I mean?
No way.
See, people that know you, White, like me and Melvin Dassey, we know your game. We know your game, Joe White.
What do you think about this whole Alberto Del Rio thing?
I don't know. That TMZ gimmick that they played the audio, I didn't even know what was going on there. It's really hard to tell what's going on. But
I'm not the only one to play the audio. Me and AC played it.
Yeah.
The Don, Tony, Kevin Castle podcast, they played it.
Well, you got to remember, White. I heard you and AC talking. I mean, they are people, which means in real life, she is a very young girl. She became a very popular person in the world of wrestling at a very young age. So she is probably not going to listen to her dad when he says, you got to dump this guy and get back home.
I chalk it up to the fact that she's she was not, what, 19 when she came over here?
Something like that. Maybe even younger.
She came over here, got a taste of fame real quick.
Mm-hmm.
First down in NXT, and I think that she kind of started the whole women's revolution, but she's even gone on record of saying that she considers herself the last diva because she likes the butterfly belt, for crying out loud. She said in an interview once.
Yeah, but I would say she was definitely the one character that transitioned it. Like when she came up, she beat AJ on the first night,
yeah,
right?
I mean, so the night after Mania.
Yeah.
So I think that she got a lot of fame, and she doesn't know how to, then combine that with the fact of, I think Del Rio's still not happy with the fact that he was with her when all those videos got released. And now everybody, I mean, imagine that. You just get together with a woman and now that gets released, so now everybody in the world gets to see what you see in your bed every night.
Oh, wait, I don't know.
And then you got the fact of, she's putting out there that he's been on a 2-day coke binge at the time this shit happened.
Yeah, not good, man.
And then this fucking fan, man. Again, me and you've talked about it before with these millennials and pulling out their goddamn people, pointing out their goddamn cell phones at every corner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge fan, but I'm secretly taping you, and I'm going to sell this to TMZ and make a ton of money off of it. Because you know TMZ paid her for that.
Yep. Yeah, man. I don't know. I know what the word on the street is about the guy around here in Connecticut, probably down there.
The thing is,
I mean, Joe, if you think about it, he's the only guy that worked in TNA, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, and WWE twice in 2 years' time. Yeah. Think about that. Do you think that's a problem employee? Forget everything else. Forget the wrestling. That's a problem employee, don't you think? I mean, what is the crux of his issues? He's got some. So
here's my thing. He never drew a fucking dime for WWE anyway. Why they brung him back, I'll never know. His merchandise didn't draw a fucking dime. They were going... Here's the real reason why they strapped a rocket to his ass and made him the Mexican JBL. Is because back in 04, 05, 06, when Eddie... Or 04... 05 when Eddie was still around, they had the highest rating among Latino audiences on SmackDown. For SmackDown, they had that Latino audience. Yep. So they're trying to recapture that with Del Rio, and it didn't fucking work because the product still sucks.
Yep. Totally.
Whether you're Mexican, Irish, or Native American, or freaking Martian, the product sucks. So he didn't get over there.
And Joe, not to mention everything I just said about working all those places in a 2 or 3 year span, whatever the hell it was. Now he's cutting the promos in GWF at the end of the shows on WWE twice, and they actually had to jerk him off by turning his music up.
And my thing of this is, if I'm WWE, why hasn't WWE put the hammer down when it comes to Paige? She's under contract. TNA needs to look at her and go, you're not allowed back here, Missy. Because TNA could that's contract tampering. It's corporate espionage. TNA can get in trouble if she's backstage because WWE can sue them by saying, oh, she's back there negotiating a deal. While she's still under contract.
They could, White. They could, but you're forgetting the human aspect of it. She's just a fucking person.
It doesn't matter. It's fucking business. If I'm running a business,
yeah, but Vince doesn't
TNA,
own her.
If I'm TNA, dude, she's under
contract. He doesn't own her.
Well, yes, you're right. You're right. CM Punk kind of proved that,
Exactly.
But if I'm TNA, the last thing I want is a fucking lawsuit with Vince McMahon for contract tampering.
Well, they'd have to prove that.
So if I'm TNA, well, dude.
That's why she's sitting out in the front row with a lucha mask on. They're not stupid.
That's what I'm getting at. If I'm TNA, I'm telling her we don't want you around here in a mask. We don't want you backstage. We will now have Universal Studios security come out and escort you off Universal Studios property.
See, I don't find a problem with that. Fuck the business, Joe. just fuck the business for a second. If she comes up and she's like, I want to see my boyfriend wrestle, whatever, then you say to her, okay, we don't mind you being here, but you got to cover up because we can't show you on TV because that's a lawsuit for us. So as long as you keep the mask on, we won't have any problem.
They've shown people on their TV before. The Highlanders got shown, and they got fired the next day.
Yeah, but they're not going to show Paige. Anthem isn't as stupid as, whatever.
But my point is WWE didn't go after them for showing the Highlanders on TV.
Well, maybe they wouldn't if they showed Paige. But I don't think TNA wants to test the waters on that.
No, not at this stage. But I mean, I'm just under the opinion of, if I'm them, I'm doing the smart thing and telling her, we don't want you here. There's a rumor that those two stir up shit backstage. Like, here's the thing about Del Rio. Rumor has it. Maybe we need to get Trevor Lee on and ask him. But
we do need to get Trevor on.
According to Kane, he'll never do it. Hashtag get Trevor on the show. Anyway.
Get us Trevor.
Get us Trevor. Anyway. According to people backstage at TNA, Alberto comes in. He goes straight to his trailer. He sits in his trailer, does not have any interaction with the company or the boys. Unless, it's writers coming in telling him, hey, this is what we have planned for you. Or unless it's workers coming in to talk about matches. But he's not back there being sociable. Shaking hands. Not a shock. Kissing babies.
Not a shock from what I heard.
Hey, how's your mom and them?
Mm-hmm.
But he sits in that trailer. He goes and does what he has to do. Goes right back into the fucking trailer. The people backstage hate him.
The thing of it is, too, Joe, he's burnt so many bridges now. If he loses this TNA gig, good luck to him because he's just going to go way downhill after that. And if she's attached to him, she's going to go downhill, too.
He'll go to Japan. Gato will book him.
If Gato books him after he blows the TNA gig, then he needs a super kick to the face, too. I mean, and who are we talking? Are we talking about Hulk Hogan? No, we're talking about friggin' Alberto Del Rio.
I know, we're talking about a guy who never really has drawn a fucking dime in this business.
No.
He's
with Dos Caras. Shut up.
He's a fucking colossal prick.
Yes.
Why is he put up on a pedestal by most of these people? Like, what makes him so big and bad? I never got this. Oh,
I don't know.
He's a former MMA fighter in Mexico. I could give a fuck all about that.
Yep. Same here. Whatever.
And if I'm WWE, I'm looking at Paige and going, get yourself into a rehab facility or we're releasing you. How WWE is letting one of their talents, what's so special about her that they are allowing this to happen?
Well, Joe, I don't know why she hasn't been fired yet for the simple fact that if they had any interest in using her, she'd be working there.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's recovering from a neck injury. She had neck surgery. Who knows if she's even capable of working? But you got this Mae Young Classic coming up.
Mm-hmm.
She could go, they got Medusa being the backstage reporter.
Hey, Austin had a neck injury and was still on TV.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like,
yeah, right, exactly.
Have her come in and freaking do a promo. Or have her come in and put over this Mae Young Classic that they're doing.
I would think she'd be able to do something for some of the people. Even a management type role or something.
It's been long enough since her neck surgery. Why isn't she there doing something?
It's a good question.
It's because she has a fucking drug problem.
We're not going to know until we get McMahon on the show. And Trevor Lee. Trevor probably knows. Let's get him on.
Is it true that Alberto Del Rio, Trevor Lee, is it true that Alberto Del Rio went on a 2-day coke binge at the latest TNA tapings?
Dude, imagine we get Trevor Lee and we open with that question.
You would hear click.
Yeah, probably. That would be funny.
I wouldn't.
Anyway,
I wouldn't disrespect Trevor like that.
No, I know you wouldn't. Would you melt? Like literally melt if you spoke to Trevor on a podcast?
Probably would.
I figured.
You would too after seeing his work in CWF.
Oh God.
Oh God. but it's never going to happen. And
If Trevor was on, I don't think I'd be able to stop myself in railing against Jeff Jarrett and asking him, what the hell's the problem, man? Why aren't you holding the main title?
That's the reason why,
Why are we spending all this money and time on an Alberto Del Rio when you're there, Trev? I don't understand. That's what I'd ask him.
Why are we spending time on Lashley? I get it. You're not even on Spike anymore. You have no reason to put over his Bellator shit. I don't care about his Bellator shit.
No.
If anything, I'm telling my guy, you can't go do MMA because if you get injured there, you just cost me money. I mean...
That's the thing about them. They always, the TNA, whoever's in charge, they always get the ex-WWE guy. And I know Lashley's good and Lashley's Lashley, but it's like, he's still an ex-WWE guy. So what do? You bring in Del Rio again. Woo! That's smoking. That's a TV show. Sign me up. Who gives a shit?
I mean,
my opinion.
If we had Trevor on, I would ask him about TNA. And my question to him is, how do you feel about the fact that nobody takes you seriously there? You're not booked in the same way that you're booked at any other places. And I know the answer. Well, those other places. It's TNA. It's not those other places.
Right.
That's going to be his answer, and rightfully so. I mean, because I'm not going to ask him to bury the company that's probably giving him his biggest paydays.
See, I kind of would. I'd try and ask him that.
I'd be like, how do you feel about the way you're booked at Promotion X versus Promotion Y? And the answer to that is, I do what I'm told.
Right.
Because they're signing my checks. I mean, but there's only... I always found that you can't really ruffle feathers with guests. You want to ask those tough questions. You want to as a fan. But as a interviewer, you have to stray away. You have to kind of be nice.
Well...
I mean, there's no right way to put that question, though, with him. Yes, they're calling him the Carolina Caveman. Yes, they're calling him the Technical Savage. Well, book him that way, goddammit.
Right. Right.
It's not a knock on Trevor Lee.
Of course not. Of course not, White.
Oh, man. And then Jeff gets on the conference call today. They suspended Del Rio. Did you notice that?
What? Say what?
They suspended Del Rio. GFW did. Indefinitely.
For real?
Yeah, indefinitely. He's still
You're
the champion,
kidding me.
But they suspended him indefinitely, yeah.
What?
They announced that this morning.
I swear to you, I didn't see that.
And then they get on the conference call, and Ross Foreman, I think it's Ross Foreman now, he's the guy that stopped TNA guys from doing podcasts like us back in 2006.
Okay.
So fuck you, Foreman. Anyway. Talk about a Melvin Dassey, it's that guy.
So why'd they suspend him?
So they suspended him because of the deal that happened with Paige at the airport. He's under investigation for domestic battery still. As far as I know, he's still being detained. I'm sure
Wow.
So Ross Foreman gets on there and goes, here's our statement. And it's the same statement they put on the website. And they're doing a conference call with Jeff. They're planning on doing a conference call every Wednesday up until Destination X. And they go, this is all we're going to say for this matter. Please do not ask us anything further on the Alberto Del Rio situation. The very first call they get, they ask about the Del Rio situation and if he's going to be written out of storylines or edited out. And that's where people like that don't get invited back to do calls because they gave you a specific, explicit rule. Do not ask about the Alberto Del Rio situation. Now, as a journalist, yes, your job is to get a story. But my job also is to, keep a good relationship with my subjects,
That's amazing. Joe, I swear to you, I didn't know that as I was talking.
Yeah. Like, if CWF, if Grant had told us, don't put Sis on, it's going to ruffle some feathers.
Right.
It's going to hurt our booking, going to hurt our product. Sorry, Sis. And
So
yes,
Del Rio, so he already blew it. He's already blown it with TNA now.
he's suspended indefinitely. Now,
Unbelievable.
here's what they're going to do though. If he gets cleared of all this mess, welcome back. You're still the champion. But Hernandez's situation was different because
Totally.
they could edit him out. You can't edit the
They
champion.
did. They did edit.
Yeah,
him
they
out.
did edit him out because because it was a secondary storyline. You can't
Right.
edit out your fucking champion.
No, that would be kind of tough. Yeah.
And Jeff even said it would hurt the brand more than it already has been. It would hurt the brand further if I edited it out. If we did that, it would hurt the brand further. Here's a news flash for you. He's hurting and killing your brand anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So which is the lesser of two evils? I get where he's coming from. Hey, we got to try to keep this thing now above water and build an audience again.
Like, Joe, seriously, at this point, if somebody out there is still watching TNA, at what point do you quit? It's now. Because now you're saddled with, 4 more weeks of Alberto Del Rio, and you know he may be in jail in 2 days.
Yeah.
For beating the shit out of his girlfriend.
Did you hear the deal about the Broken Hardy's
Apparently.
trademark?
The Broken Hardy's trademark.
They
No.
asked him about that too on the conference call today. I like this conference call because while pro wrestling journalists such as myself, I mean, we had our buddy Wade Needham, who actually went by his real name, call into this conference call. Mr. Tommy McCardle, I know that's you, Mr. Wade Needham. Oh God. But
shit.
He asked Jeff Jarrett, "Is TNA planning on doing a video game?" That's the last. Jarrett goes, video games and action figures are at top of the licensing list. Yes, you have to get people willing to buy your fucking licenses first.
Absolutely.
Video games and action figures are probably the last thing on their minds. Building an audience to the point where people are then coming to you wanting those licenses is his top priority. But anyway, they ask about the Broken Hardy's deal, and he's like, I have a really good relationship with Jeff Hardy. I just talked to the guy last week. We've been on family vacations together. I just got a text from him on Father's Day, but business is business, and IP contracts, how we have them written, are pretty cut and dry. No, they do not own the gimmick. So, apparently, Rebby Hardy gets on Twitter and goes, why you gotta lie, Jeff?
Of course she did.
And here it is, according to PW Insider, there was a deal in place. There has been a deal in place between Anthem and Hardy's that would allow them to use the gimmick. And apparently this deal has been drafted by the Hardy's attorneys, and it is believed that your pal here, Jeff, your pal Billy Corgan, helped mediate this deal.
Wow.
Why, I don't know.
Okay.
Why Billy Corgan is even involved with this now, I don't know.
Did Anthem give them 5% of their company or something?
I don't know. But apparently they've addressed this, and the deal was drafted by Hardy's lawyers and sent to Anthem's Ned Nordholm. And basically, it's been several weeks have gone by without a response from Nordholm or any indication that the agreement was going to be signed. So it's sitting on the man's desk for weeks now. One source indicated to PW Insider that Nordholm received the agreement in writing, claimed that it wasn't what the two sides agreed upon, but then confirmed that since that point there had been no additional communication with the Hardys. The drafted agreement led to Matt Hardy's comments on Twitter that they were close to a resolution on the situation. Impact sources remained steadfast that the two sides were far apart as ever during that time. Remember that shit when he's like, yeah, there's an agreement in place, and they're like, no, there's not.
For me, Joe, personally, it's too late.
Yeah.
I don't really care anymore. I didn't want them to leave TNA to begin with, but then all hell broke loose and they left because that was the only thing driving TNA, to be honest.
This past Monday on Raw, Jeff Hardy actually quoted the lyrics from the Obsolete song. And Matt Hardy was like, yes, we're a bit broken, you know, so they full on went broken with that kind of on Raw. So basically last week it appeared that they were finally coming down to an agreement, and now it's another volcano may explode because the only thing that the Hardys have left is, according to this, we spoke to one source today who believes that the decisions made by the company during the time when Dixie Carter owned Impact Wrestling were technically breaches of the Hardys' contract, which appears to be the strategy that the family would use in court. So basically, the Hardys are basically saying, either you sign this little agreement and give us the character, or we're taking you to court. Which is what they should have done in the first place, I think. Should have just took it to court. The problem is, I think in court, Anthem Media has a lot more money to stall and spend on attorneys than the Hardys do. And WWE's not backing this. There's
if Vince wanted it, he'd have it. But he is not going to pay.
If Vince wanted it, they'd be doing it, and he'd be like, fuck him.
Exactly. Which tells me that he doesn't care less, really. He probably couldn't care less.
Kyle O'Reilly.
And that's the other thing, too, Joe. Like, originally when this happened, we had a conversation that maybe Matt will tweak it. Maybe he'll change the verbiage. You know, maybe it won't be broken. It'll be something else. But they never did. Hardy Boys with a Z.
Yeah.
That's it. Pal.
Our damn pal got a Z in there.
Get the Z. That's what the kids know. They know the Z, pal.
Yet they've been chanting delete, delete, delete every fucking day. Every time they arrive.
Yeah, of course. Of course. But they wouldn't watch it when it was in TNA. See, this is why I hate WWE fans.
Sensitive universe.
Delusional, dysfunctional.
The problem is, here's the rub though, man. In the Sensitive Universe's defense, they were watching the Broken Hardys because it was the highest rated segment in the show, and the segment would the ratings would take a jump.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And the segment in the thing that they did at the compound where a bunch of CWF stars, including Chet Sterling, appeared, got a huge rating boost for them. The problem was they were tuning out as soon as it was done. So as soon as the Hardys would go off screen, click, we're going back to watching Grey's Anatomy or whatever. Or they were DVRing the show, watching the Hardys bit and fast forwarding through the rest. Here's something crazy here. Regarding Alberto El Patron's suspension and his status with GFW, an unnamed person working at GFW, it's always an unnamed person.
Oh, yeah.
Wrote the following comment to Dave Meltzer regarding El Patron possibly being edited off upcoming tape shows. It's impossible to pull him at this point. He's in the main thread of all 6 weeks. This is a disaster. According to Meltzer, El Patron and Page have been back together as of Wednesday, July 12th. Which was yesterday. Apparently, there have been so many incidents between them that when El Patron claims they are broken up, his fans believe that they'll end up getting back together imminently.
There you go. Sounds fun.
Campbell McLaren, who runs Combat Day Americas and works with El Patron, is defending him and is claiming that El Patron is being quote-unquote set up.
Set up by who?
Define
by
set
whom?
up. What is he? Conor McGregor? Showtime setting him up? Kyle O'Reilly debuted at NXT tonight.
Oh, great.
It's another one taken from ROH, which they weren't doing much with him anyway.
Great.
And I love how during the conference call today, they were asked about why Pat Kenny, Gregory Helms, or Shane Helms, and Al Snow were let go.
Mm-hmm.
And Jarrett goes, and I believe Jarrett on this one, kind of. They went to India. They had 8 agents doing 2-hour shows. So we cut dead weight. And Shane,
what other agents?
Shane goes, Jeff Jarrett would rather climb a tree to tell a lie than stand on the ground to tell the truth.
Okay.
So my thing is, I kind of agree with Shane on this, and I agree with Jeff. Yeah, you don't need 8 agents doing a 2-hour taping. You don't.
No, but when you buy a company that has 3 agents, you don't add 5 to create a scenario that you have 8 for a 2-hour show.
Exactly. You don't bring in your GFW guys and fire Pat Kinney, who's been with
Exactly.
the company since 2004 or 2003.
Right.
By the way, I've been watching. I have on my hard drive here all the TNA weekly tapings from like 2002, 2003.
Mm.
And I started watching like when Russo comes in at the end of 02.
He's the best.
It's so all over the place though with this sports entertainment extreme thing.
Oh yeah. Sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so all over the place and hard to keep track of, but at the same time, it's like a car crash. You don't want to stare, but you can't look away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was talking about that the other day.
And then
Somebody
you
wrote in.
realize after, is Jeff Jarrett with him? He's helping out Jeff. Then the next week he's cursing out Jeff. And there was so much filthy language on that pay-per-view by that guy. This must have been before he was quote-unquote saved.
Probably.
I'm like, thank God they were on pay-per-view, and no wonder they didn't have a TV deal until he was gone.
Well, if you're on pay-per-view, why not use it? Why not use it to your advantage?
At the same time, you're using those pay-per-views to show the TV companies and going, hey, this is what we do. Well, goddamn, pal, if we're going to have to go bleep every other word, we don't want that shit on there.
Yeah, and 15 years later, they still have TV somehow. It's amazing. With Alberto El Patron needing to be edited out if there was a way.
Because he's a fucking cokehead who beats on women.
Jarrett, you could have avoided all this by having Trevor as your champ. That's all.
Could have avoided
building around young guys.
He could have avoided all this by just having your man Billy Corgan buy the company.
That's true too.
Can you imagine if Corgan was running the company? This shit wouldn't have happened. I'll agree with you on that. None of this would be happening.
I don't know if he would have brought Del Rio in either.
No, that's what I'm saying. Del Rio wouldn't even be in the picture.
Probably not.
He'd be on the outside doing this shit with Corgan laughing on the inside going, look at that joke. He thinks he's hot. And that's what kills me about Del Rio. He thinks he's so cool. He thinks he's such hot shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, where have you drawn anything?
Mexico. Pero.
You know my favorite Mexican wrestler? Nah.
Oh, wrestler. I thought you said restaurant.
No. I've never eaten at a Chi-Chi's.
That means it's getting late.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up here in a second. I know we got to go to bed.
Go ahead.
But my favorite Mexican wrestler is this white dude. He's been down there for years doing it. He was featured on 2020 a couple of years ago. I don't know if you know this guy or not. I can't remember his name. And it's got even worse now that Trump has become president. But he's the guy.
Oh, I know who you mean.
He's the guy who's down there fucking calling everybody the S word. Mm-hmm. And he's preaching about how America is so great, and I'm just down here wrestling, taking your money from you filthy Mexicans. And now that Trump is president, he wears a jacket to the ring with President Trump's picture on it and talks about how we're coming down here and we're going to build the wall. And then after we build the wall, we're going to invade you.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the greatest heel ever. He's absolutely, there's no way that dude's a babyface down there. He's 100% what they call rudo.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call him in Lucha Libre. The heels are rudos.
Yes. I thought you were going to say Prince Puma was your favorite Mexican.
Nah, he's my favorite. No.
Oh, okay.
Is Ricochet even Mexican?
Ricochet is not, but Prince Puma is.
Okay.
Kayfabe. What else, White?
Oh man, that's all I got for this week. I can't believe you didn't know that he was not suspended.
No, I didn't. No, I swear to you, I didn't see that. I was just assuming that he would blow this eventually.
Well, he has. The problem is he's gonna get acquitted.
Mm.
Just like, didn't he get stabbed in a nightclub a while back because of this? Because of him running his fucking mouth, and that somehow got covered up.
Yeah. Well, if they're back and forth, and she's pressing charges against it. White, this is a typical case. If she's pressing charges,
Her crazy doesn't match
blah,
his
blah,
crazy.
blah, she'll wake up tomorrow and go, no, I love you. No charges. And he'll say, oh, I love you too. Until next week.
And next week when they go to the Chi-Chi's and get smashed and coked up again,
Right.
and they're throwing drinks on each other.
Chi-Chi's, man.
And well, she released a thing on Twitter. It's like, I threw a drink on him because I got a text saying my uncle was in the hospital. Which it is. Her family is tweeting out pictures of the uncle with tubes in his nose.
Oh, jeez.
And she's like, my uncle's in the hospital, so I go outside and I come back in the restaurant and I'm crying. And she's like, Del Rio has a real knack for saying things when he shouldn't.
Mm.
The rumor is that they got into an argument about a little thing, and then he wished death on her uncle.
Oh, great.
So she throws a beer at him.
Nice guy.
It goes
nice
off
guy.
the handle.
Nice guy.
I'm like, they both need to be put in a fucking funny farm. At this point, they both need to be 10 miles away from each other in different rehab centers.
Oh, maybe that'll happen.
Somebody's had enough. Great recap, guys. See you for the Weaver Cup. That's our cue that we're about to leave here. Yeah, we'll be on next week's. We'll be on next week at 10:30. Unless the show goes 2 hours next week, which golly.
It probably won't.
Everybody says, Jeff, though, you got to get down here for Battlecade.
I hear that.
So.
Yep.
We're gonna get out of here, folks. All I can say is that the audio is not playing out of the right speakers.
I actually heard it a little bit this
Yeah,
time.
it's because it's playing out of my monitor. Let's try this again. There we go. I hope to God, we didn't bring it up here, but I hope to God AC's doing like a podcast about these press conferences, and I hope he uses the audio. Because the more Conor comes out here and rags on the way Mayweather dresses, the more I like him. And they went to Toronto today, and everybody in that crowd, there's Irish flags everywhere. And fucking McGregor's the total babyface. And Mayweather's out there cutting promos on the crowd.
It was great.
You bring a school bag up on stage, you can't even fucking read. He's dressed like a little child break dancer from the 80s. Oh, man.
He's 40. He's 40. He's going.
40.
Look how he's dressed.
Dress like your fucking age, pal. Here I am, 28. I'm making promoter's money. When you were 28, you were on De La Hoya's undercard.
He's great on the stick.
He is, and I think that's where it's going to end, though. He's going to write. His mouth is writing checks. I don't think his ass can cash.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then Triple H goes on Twitter and goes, we got open mics here on Raw for you guys. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Conor's going to... Dude, Conor McGregor in a WWE ring, he would drop F-bombs left and right and Vince's head would explode.
Please let us be a part of this.
Let us be a part of this. You know, we're combat sports too, you know.
Mauro Ronaldo's not enough.
Good night, folks.